All right. Great. Uh, that's what music do be doing. That is right. That is right. Um, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate you guys being here to chat. That's really nice. For the questions, really appreciate that. Um, yeah, there was actually I wrote down like I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 questions and topics. I think we got to some of it technically, but we definitely want to do another run of this, absolutely, because there were some questions that I really wanted to get to that it's just so easy to just elaborate and keep going on a topic that yeah. So um, so yeah, there's way more that we had talked ourselves about that we'll definitely do more topics later in the future. Um, yeah, I hope you guys had fun. I hope you guys enjoyed Tim being on. Hansi, I'm glad you were able to make it. Um, yeah, maybe um, let's see. Yeah, let's chill out for a bit. I'm gonna actually make some bubble tea, and then we'll keep going. I'm not stopping the stream just on this podcast. I was expecting to do the podcast as an opener, and then do some more after. Um, and I'm gonna pull in Hansi here, who is our resident question asker, also the admin, or the moderator for my chat. So when we get a bot joining that's trying to spam something, he was even quicker than me to take care of that. So that was nice. Um, there we go. uh, hey Hansi,
Right. We in the stream.
sup?
Heck yeah. Yeah. No. I mean, I would love to talk to you about what the things he said. I had way too many questions as well,
Uh-huh.
right? It's like right. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say something
Yeah,
soon,
yeah,
but I'm
yeah,
gonna
yeah. What
wait
were
for
your
you to
thoughts
be
on
back.
Tim's? Yeah, I mean, I'll go for a second if you wanted to say some things to people listening here. Some more things about voice. Elaborate on whatever topics
About
are interesting.
voice. I mean, there's too many. I didn't really make notes, but I'm gonna recall them as we're gonna talk about them, I guess. In a sec. Doggy. There's a dog. I cannot believe. Real cute dog, by the way. For real. Dog jump scare. Bro's been playing too much Silent Hill recently. Gets jump scared by a Samoyed, cutest dog in the world, kinda, sorta. It's a big dog though, right? It's not like truly big, but big enough. Yeah. I'm playing that too. Yeah, it's kind of fun, but Rubber Bond is a bit of a pain. I'm thinking back, there's so much to talk about here, right? I mean, you definitely got into most of the things I would have liked to talk about in a way, but I mean, there's still billions of questions having to be answered. I feel like having a second educator in as well would be a big plus. Something like this, maybe even preparing questions and trying to go from, because we do have a limited time, which was now 2 hours, pretty much, yeah. And I mean, that works for sure, but I would love to have more time in that regard.
Okay. I am back.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, there's, I don't even know where to start
Oh,
on
you're
this,
so
but this
cute.
was, this, yeah, truly, truly.
Oh, this is his chair. This is his chair. And it also has a pull-out thing. So if you really wanted to lay, um, he gets this. Oop. Make some room here. Oh God. Oh, I messed it up because this thing was in the way. Um, kind of broke. Oh, I broke the thingy jig.
Well, happens to the best of us. One thing I really liked were you pulling up your like a graphic there. I
Yeah.
really liked the I really saw the idea of what you wanted in a student, and then like obviously talking about the goals and coming from not just the goals, but how to like how much do you need to master these certain set of skills, right? And then the four types, right? Because I like instantly saw myself back when I was
Yeah.
starting music, playing trumpet for the first time. I didn't really know why I started trumpet. I truly didn't really want it, but my parents were like, "Yeah, find a hobby, right? Just do something." And so I did. I found myself a band to play at. Well, it was a concert band, and they had a teacher for me, and that was like I didn't really have any goals. I was just like, yeah, I might as well learn the instrument, and it definitely
Mm-hmm.
helped me get into so much of what I love about music now. Like I talked about this as well earlier, that is like that I played the first time I experienced or like actually realized a major third exists and what it was and how simple it truly was at its root, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
just this nice sound and where it came from. And then my teacher, after teaching me the interval and showing it to me,
Mm-hmm.
playing a song I knew, like a folk music song, in thirds, was a wonderful musical experience. That like wrapped it all up. I was like, oh wow,
Mm-hmm.
that's what you can do with thirds, just moving in thirds in a scale. It was
Mm-hmm.
like wow, right?
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
like these wow
So you were
moments,
all
getting
see
to
you
play
were
with it, and
unsure. You were unsure. You didn't really have specific goals. Did you feel like you
no,
had a specific goal of like I want to learn skills of like be more skillful with my voice? Do you feel
I
like you were in the
didn't like
camp of
no. Oh wait, yeah, then yeah, no, no, no. Like the voice
okay.
thing is completely different, right? Because that came into fruition when I studied at university, and that
Mm-hmm.
just makes sense, right? My goals were clear, and I know
Perfect.
what. Right, right. It's
Mm-hmm. You
that's
go
very,
up.
very different. Oh, nice. You got
See,
it.
it's connected. So it's like this bed. It's a pull-out sofa kind of thing. Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
music. The what is it? Yeah. So you were open-minded to be like, hey, I just want to learn skills, but I don't really know what pieces or
I
stuff I want to
didn't
do.
know. I didn't even know if I wanted to do music, right?
Hmm.
I didn't think I would have fun in it. I just
Yeah.
didn't know what else to do, right? I knew my uncle did music, right? And my parents used to do music at some
Hmm.
point in their life. And I was
Yep.
like, yeah, sure, might as well find someone. My uncle also didn't want to teach me because at 7 I had one lesson. He bought me a trumpet. I didn't play, and he
Hmm.
then was really mad at me. And then he said, okay, don't keep this in the family. I needed some inherent pressure there, like
Mm.
I had to pay the money to a teacher and I had to show up because now he like I'm liable, right? You know, in a way.
Hmm.
Which did help me get into it and like realizing like the fun came along the way, right? As soon as I started learning the instruments and finding out the first bits of how to play and what it could sound like and what it does sound like and how I could shape the sound of a trumpet really helped me get into music. But then obviously, like I said, singing came way later. This was
Yeah.
4 years ago, studying at university. very different time frame, very different mindset. Um, Way more goal oriented here. I would not call myself that kind of student now in any regard, right?
Mhm. Mhm. Yep.
But I would call myself that, like the not having a goal and not really wanting to know which skill I would want to master. Both of
Mhm.
these would definitely apply to me in my beginning stages of my musical life, right?
Mhm. So you were.
It maybe,
Can you say that
yeah.
again? So you were in the camp where you weren't sure about mastery, and like if you were interested in mastering the instrument or not. Like you were basically not really, and the goals were also you weren't sure
No, I wasn't
both.
really sure what I wanted.
Yeah, you weren't
Right?
sure what you wanted.
I
So
know.
what helped you? What do you think was the most I guess like what prompted you to move away from that camp and then feel like you had an idea of what goal or what skills or that you wanted or not wanted?
Well,
You know.
obviously, like getting when you start playing the trumpet, at some point you're gonna learn trumpet literature, and then seeing idols in a way, people who can play the trumpet really well, and
Mhm.
like sort of like also my uncle, right? He is a trumpet player at the military. He studied the trumpet. He still does trumpet all like everywhere with all his
Mhm.
gigs and what. He was definitely how do you say this, like an idol figure I was looking up to like strive to be good at musically. Like I love
Mhm.
music, right? There was never a thing where I didn't love it, and there was also like a
Mhm.
maybe I can learn it, but I wasn't really sure if I could or wanted to really. So I just did it, and in the end, it
Mhm.
turned out, yeah, it was definitely something I wanted to do. And then, obviously, the motivation just came, right? Like, oh, there's music theory, there is trumpet playing. There's so many things to choose from. You can do so much with it with multiple people. This is what other people are doing with it, right? It's like then getting into this certain in group where you are like, oh wow, other people are
Mhm.
doing the same cool things that I want to do, or doing in them even way
Yeah.
way better. And I'm like,
Yeah, so the
really,
social
I want to
aspects,
get
I
there.
think that's actually, I've been thinking more and more about this. I do think that the social aspect of chamber music for string players and just music, like instrument players, right? Non-vocal. I think the chamber music is a big deal. That social element of being in a chamber group and playing
It's
off other
everywhere. It's not
people.
just
So I think imagine choir as well, right? Choir is also a huge
all of
motivator
it, all of
because you
it.
get that
It is
social element from
always
that.
like an orchestra, right? Like, why are we doing more people? Because we can get like with an instrument with a trumpet. If you have four trumpets, you can do chords that have
Hmm.
four
Yep.
voicings, right? It's like, I mean, that's just an aesthetic feeling I have, and I like, right? I like chords that have four voices in them that are different notes, right? Even though it
Yep.
doesn't have to aesthetically apply to everyone, but still,
Hmm.
it does make the music more enjoyable for me to share it with others and people, like sharing the same experience as well with others, and then
Hmm.
just doing and practicing the music in a way.
Hmm.
It can be, it might could also be like depending on what you do and what the goal is here for this group, it can definitely change on how
Yeah.
motivated you are on the piece you're playing. But in general,
Mm.
if you do change music for fun, or like if you meet a bunch of musicians at a party, we're always gonna make music together. It's like something that will happen. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
at some point,
Hmm.
people are gonna start singing. He whips out his guitar. The piano player goes on the piano. It's like we're gonna find something we can play together with, right? Well, especially in my in group, we were music educators mainly, so definitely that was a big part as well, right? Like the social aspect came to us more naturally in a way than it would probably come to someone who does it as a professionally trained or just on his instrument kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, so now I think about like how there's like video games like MMORPGs.
Mm-hmm.
I've been kind of keeping up with I know I reacted to Strife's Hayes's video, and he talked about like MMOs, how they're an outdated genre in some sense, or how they were done before won't work today. And it's like used to be that MMORPGs were simple to play because they were not supposed to be a very engaging gameplay experience. They were supposed to be a very um um
Social gameplay experience, right?
it's
It's like
yeah, it was supposed to adapt. It was supposed to be easily integratable as a third space for people to hang out. So the point was for
oh
people to
yeah,
hang out there. The point wasn't necessarily to get really solid gameplay. The social element was first, and the gameplay was just a thing to do together. Like if you go out into a park
yeah.
and you guys play basketball, playing basketball isn't about scoring more points than your opponent. The playing basketball was about having fun with your friends and getting to hang out with them. And the games that you might play would create scenarios that would make the hangout more exciting or more variety to it. Something's changing. You're not just sitting there staring at each other in the eyes and being like, who's gonna blink first, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, so music playing, right? Like playing together some music, that is almost like, for some people, the social element of playing with other people is more important than how good you are at playing the music, or how well even the
Yeah.
music comes out when you play together. Like the how successful the performance is almost doesn't matter. And I almost wonder about the whole like concert, like, yes, preparing people properly for the performances on stage, but I also I am always a devil's advocate. Like, there are this argument to, like, the performance. You want the performance to be as good as possible, but you also want to juggle that the people that are performing don't. I don't know. Maybe there is some value to actually not caring how good the performance is,
I would think so
because
personally.
then,
Yeah.
like, if you don't care about how good the performance is, the pressure being low, I've seen that do actual huge wonders for people who might have fright, stage fright and all these things, because they're like, there's this expectation of things going a certain
Yeah.
way, and then if they don't feel that expectation, if they're just there to just hang out and do a thing, and then have an experience that might, other things that isn't music might not provide, then if that's the foreground, and the, little bit of like nervousness is in the background, that does a phenomenal job for some people. Some people almost, I feel like, need that to even be willing to pull the trigger on doing the stuff, and then they get better at it because they do the stuff, and then because of they feel so good about doing it, then they are like more willing to deal with any of this friction that they would have to go through to learn skills that would get them to goals, and then they get much more willing to play that game.
Yeah. Okay, I would love to share an experience I had in Italy,
Sure.
but so in Italy we had a so I was on in Italy with a youth choir, and it was like in like a bunch of educators we met in Italy as well, and we like worked together to get this whole thing going. We had concerts in Venice and in Turin, which was really fun. We had a great concert setup, and one evening we were out at a bar. Right, it was the last evening of the whole thing,
Hmm.
and me and some of the teachers prepared something because one of them played accordion incredibly well, and the other voice
Hmm.
teacher there, the woman, she was like a theater maniac. Like truly, I fucking loved her. She was
Hmm.
incredibly infectious with her energy, and we were thinking on how we could integrate the singing and all of that with Italian folk music. And they taught me a folk song back then to sing as well. And she did like a solo thing with him, and he did a tenor thing, and then everybody in
Hmm.
the bar started singing the Italian song. Like everybody that knew it, obviously. The German kids were like, "What the fuck is going on?" But I mean, it was lovely. It was absolutely lovely because like the whole Italian crowd in that bar started shouting the song, but it
Hmm.
sounded not great, but it was so
Yeah.
infectious and so energetic. I would argue that like experiences like this make me happier in music than
Yeah.
performance would, right?
Yeah, because the whole
But
point of the performance is the way it makes you feel. So wouldn't you
yeah,
want to do everything that it would, whatever it is optimal for having a powerful or a vibrant emotional experience? Isn't that the whole point?
yeah, yeah.
So
That
like,
is the
wouldn't
point.
wouldn't wouldn't that serve that goal just as well as playing in tune and having the, oh, it sounds so
Yeah,
gorgeously in tune? Wouldn't that be
yeah.
the same? Wouldn't that serve the goal the same way that being out of tune, not giving a shit about that, and just singing out and just being brave and just letting it all out and feeling that endorphin, everything, what is it called? The dopamine from like just getting
Yeah,
to
yeah.
be yourself is, I think, it
Hmm.
reaches the same goal in a different way. It might be a little
It
different
does.
flavor, and for different people, one is more optimal than the other, but both serve the
Hmm.
goal. And that's the whole thing for me, is that I think genre is defined by how we are getting to that goal. The goal, really, in a way, almost is
Oh,
the
that makes so
same,
much sense.
but how we're getting to that goal. Some people, they get to that goal by hearing just this, just ears are being just massaged with the sound, like opera, just angelic voices. Some
Hmm.
people,
Hmm.
when they hear the like, hardcore metal or like screamo,
Okay, yeah,
they
yeah, yeah.
feel it like, oh yeah, or if
Yeah,
you're like in
yeah,
a folk, like you might just sing and just, or a bar and you guys all sing karaoke together, that it's all about that charged feeling of that release of
yeah.
just like, so how you get that for different people is different. So the genres are all optimizing for different versions of that same kind of like optimization. And that's how, music will evolve, and over time how what is considered culturally most optimal for that particular goal and that particular audience will evolve over time.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes so much sense. But I find it really interesting that as a musician, at least me, right? I consume so much different kinds of music. I would
Hmm.
find it hard to really find something that I would not connect with in a way. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
Sure. So someone who is much more passionate about music as a strong hobby, or even pursuing as a career, you will have just like somebody who maybe is really passionate about food. Like I am not, I don't really enjoy cooking very much because I'm very impatient. If I'm hungry, I wait till the last second until I'm like literally keeling over dying, and then I go and look for food and grab it, and then I satisfy my hunger. Whereas somebody
Okay,
who
yeah,
is really passionate about food would probably first of all plan. They would
yeah,
prepare food
that,
early and then eat it when they're just starting to get hungry or something. And maybe they eat slowly so they could taste all the flavors and everything. And as somebody who might cook, you might taste the food as you're cooking to see and understand you. So you're having a completely different relation. You're having a very in-depth relationship with this. And you might go to restaurants and try the food. My girlfriend, she'll
that
go
is
to
totally
restaurants,
right.
will try food,
Yeah.
and she'll tell me, "Oh, I can make that even better at home. This is so easy. I'm gonna make it better at home next time." I'm like, okay. Like I don't have that barometer at all, but she
I get that
does.
though.
So you might
I
have a
get that.
barometer for being able to enjoy all these different genres, where some people might only enjoy one, but then later might enjoy more. I love using food as an analogy for like the way that we
Yeah,
are
it is
our
so much. I
dynamic
mean,
with
the
music
reward
is
is
similar to dynamic with food.
yeah, yeah. The reward is like similar, but I mean, one is obviously essential, while the other is self-pleasing in a way, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
AI art is
but it's
fast
still.
food.
Oh
Hot
God, yeah.
take.
It's
Because
like
it's just
modern fast
pumping
food,
out
right?
something that satisfies the surface level of this is a visual art form. Like here's a
Yeah.
picture that is technically like who knows what's in it? Is it hormonal fucking injections? It's like that's the AI. It's like the how we got this thing is
Hmm.
so you can't interact with it, and that's one of the topics I actually wanted to talk to Tim about. And I mentioned my take right now with AI is that the problem with AI is that you cannot have a in-depth conversation about the art, because how this art came to be is that someone typed a prompt in and they had no say in anything. They didn't customize anything about what you're seeing. So you can't
True.
you can't go in depth about this, because even the artist themselves doesn't even know why the art is looking the way it looks, or how it came to be, or why they made it, why it looks the way it does. They cannot defend anything about it. Just like a composer, you could talk to a composer and they will be able to defend every single note in that piece of music, if especially the best ones will be able to defend everything, because they're very
Yeah.
thoughtful about how the piece came to be, and it's very personal, their investment in that thing. Whereas if you type up a prompt and then you get a picture out of AI and you post online, if somebody asks you why the art looks the way it does, you will not be able to defend anything, because not only did you not make any of the decisions, even if you were to look into where the decisions came from, we don't even know what the decisions were.
Yeah.
We don't
True.
even know. It's literally, we don't even, it's so far removed from our like manual
Like yeah.
input
Well,
that
yeah.
we can't even there is actually nothing out there that'll tell you why the AI looks the way that it does. It's this like it's learning and it's randomly evolving. It's its own being at this point. We'd have to ask it, and we wouldn't even, and we literally have to ask it to find out. We can't even, you can't point to what's causing the results, and so you cannot have a conversation about it, and you cannot connect through it. It's not a way of, this is not a form of communication between you and the artist that typed up the prompt, right? Like the whole point of art and the emotional connection that we have with art is that when you are creating it, you are be able to express something personal in a specific way so that you can accurately like communicate what you're experiencing, right? And so the other person then gets a very vibrant and very accurate maybe expression of what you feel when they hear the music, let's say. Whereas when you type up a prompt and you get a picture, how much of that is actually expressing exactly how you feel or what you're trying to feel? It's a total, right? When you talk about it like that, it's completely, totally different, right? It's
Have you
just
have you
not
ever
serving that goal at
generated an AI
all.
picture?
It's a
Have you ever
totally
seen?
different
Yeah,
tool now.
yeah.
It's just like pressing the random number generator and getting a number versus being like 42 is the answer to life and here's why. That's the level of difference between AI and like actually made like human made art.
At least, yeah. I mean, should be serving humans, right? Why not be made by humans in a way? It's like, do I want my AI to be to like do this or my laundry? I don't know.
Well, laundry getting done is not about communicating anything. It's about
No, exactly.
some, so that's fine, right? There, I think if that having a robot do your laundry versus you do your laundry, maybe there's something emotional about you liking to fold and clean and that smell. I don't know, like maybe you like doing the laundry. That physical activity can be nice. Um,
Hmm.
but
I mean,
I
also,
don't think it's as big a deal that you might replace that with a robot because the emotional relationship that people have with that is not as,
hmm,
it's not the point. The point of doing laundry is not the emotional relationship you have with it because you can get, I mean, it's not usually for most people. I would say it's not the point of doing laundry. The point of the laundry is to get it done. Whereas with art, the point of doing art
yeah,
is not to get it done. The point of art is expression.
no,
And the AI is
exactly.
not expressing anything. It is just compiling a visual, which the visual doesn't express anybody. It's not communicating anything between the person who typed the prompt and the person who's seeing the art. There's no communication happening there. At least the communication is so unoptimized. It's so far backwards of a step from how optimized this has gotten today, with how well we understand how sound works, with how well we understand how we can write in a way that delivers this emotional experience. The amount of progress we've made in this direction, AI is just creating something that just is not is just completely so far behind that. It's so unrefined. It's crazy unrefined because it's not if it was able to beam into our ability to sense like a melody coming into our head, and then it was able to consider everything that we are experiencing emotionally and then make a piece of art, and when we saw that art that we prompted, it made us feel like the thing that is we're seeing is expressing exactly what we just felt, then you have something you can talk about. But this is an insane leap to go that this is going to
That is like
satisfy the
super
exact
deep.
same need that typing a word and then getting the AI to look for every picture in the world
It's like,
and compile something out of that's going to have the same level of communication between what you're feeling and what you want to express to other people is just an insane leap. It's never going to do that, at least
exactly. I mean,
not at this
it
current
is
state
just,
at all.
yeah,
Zero chance.
it is just trying to mimic of what it thinks you would expect from this emotion that you have given him in a way, right?
Yeah,
Or
because there's
this
not no
prompt.
emotional information. The emotional part is not accounted for at all. The AI is not
No.
considering anything emotional. It is literally just sampling for people's results. Maybe people might vote up and down and be like, "Oh, I like this picture that this AI made, and I don't like this picture that it didn't make." But it has no barometer. Like humans have a barometer for the emotional experience they're having with the thing that they're doing, the thing that they're creating.
Hmm.
As you're cooking, you are tasting the food, and then you're going, I
Yeah,
like how it tastes, or I think it needs more of this or that. The AI isn't doing that.
very
It's just
defensive.
making the food and going, I hope it's good. Do you like it? Let's find out. It's not, none of the process is being checked. Is none of it is being measured as it's happening. So of course you're gonna just get random garbage.
Yeah.
And
Oh
sometimes you
Christ.
might just randomly, luckily, get something that looks really good. And you might go, wow, that was great. But then when you talk about, oh, why was it great? How can we advance our relationship with art or cooking, let's say? How can we advance our relationship with that? You know about the whole Coca-Cola flavor? There was a Coca-Cola flavor that was like, I think AI generated of like what would be the optimal flavor, and it was a flop. They did this
Yeah.
thing. Coca-Cola did this like AI thing where it was like, oh, let's have AI decide based off of all the just data that they have. Maybe let's let AI come up with a flavor for Coca-Cola, and let's see if people will like it. It was a flop. It wasn't new flavor. It was Coca-Cola, but it didn't express anything. that it didn't communicate anything about, it had no backing of the Coca-Cola's experience with clients and the journey of its development and its success. None of that was contributing to the outcome. Um, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's the communication part
Yeah.
that's missing. That's what I think. That's my stake on. I think that's the part that people don't think about sometimes, and they think, "Oh no, my career as an artist is in danger." It's not. It's the audiences that are just looking at it as a picture and being like, "I got a picture," and it's like they're like, "I could get a picture, or I could pay $300 for an artist to make a picture." And I look at the two pictures; they're the same picture from the office, right? They think that it's the same. They think, but it's the fact that people haven't really um
I mean, they
I think
didn't really have the understanding in depth of that, right?
I
Like,
mean, you
what you
have
know,
somebody try
right?
fast food and you have somebody try a high-end burger. If they are not
Mm-hmm.
in tune with any of this, they're going to think, whatever, why would I ever pay this much money? I could just get it for so cheap. That's what their argument would be. And this is the same argument that a lot of people might have when they look at AI art. They're like, well, why would I pay so much more when I could just get this? I just want a picture. They're like, I just want a picture in my poster, or I just want a picture on my website, or I want just a cover for my book. And I can choose to pay $200, $300 for an artist to make one, or I could just type one in an AI, get something out of AI, and then slap that on top of it. For someone who's looking at things from the business side, they're not interested. They're not really invested in how that picture is going to communicate their what they're trying to communicate with what
Mm-hmm.
they're making. They're gonna obviously be like, well, my priority, again, it's about goals. My goal is to minimize how much I'm going to spend on this, and I don't really care if it's like actually expressing what I'm trying to express perfectly. um it's good enough. So the slop, that's the whole thing. So yeah, that's the
The
issue.
AI flop. I'm currently eating some Leibniz cookies. Great.
So yeah, I think it's just I think with time, and I said this even at the very beginning of AI coming out.
Yeah, fun guy for sure.
Leibniz cookies mentioned. Says fun guy.
Leibniz, it's Leibniz.
Leibniz.
Yeah,
Leibniz.
The Hanover boy.
um, yeah, I think that even when AI came out first, I was very like, I think people are overblown on this. There has to be something that 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 people are freaking out about AI replacing art. And I was like, I am very hesitant to assume that AI would be capable of this. And even though we're getting the pictures, even though we're getting successful imitations, I was like, there's got to be something here that's missing. Otherwise, um, why in the world hasn't this happened before? AI art has stood this test of time for so long through so many evolutions of technology. Wouldn't it have been abandoned long ago if there was something technological that could substitute it?
And usually technology has been incorporated into art at some point,
Yes.
right?
Yes, usually technology being improved actually advanced art or evolved it in some way, in a
Mm-hmm.
positive way. So I was like, historically, this is just doesn't make any sense for AI to just replace art all of a sudden. I was like, that doesn't
No.
that's
I
never been
mean,
the
you
relationship
can
between
use.
evolution and artistic expression. It's never been the case
I mean,
before.
like there is a way to use AI tools not just to do generative stuff and not do any effort into the art, right? Like you can
Yes.
do the art and then put effort into the art with the AI or with the help of AI to like structure things better or help your workflow or whatnot, right? Like
I
there
think
can be a
it's
lot
like
of things that it can do.
yeah, yeah. My girlfriend was writing articles back when before AI hit the fan. Um,
Mm-hmm.
should hit the fan. Just kidding. But yeah, basically, she was writing articles for websites, and then they were mass firing people because they were like, "Oh, AI can now just write the articles, just as good."
Mm-hmm.
And so, why are we paying all these people when we can just write the articles with the AI, the predictive algorithm of writing before visual AI stuff? You know what's really funny? they were basically at first they started to, they but then there were some websites which were trying to be competitive. They were like, well, we need to because Google kind of immediately clamped on this and was like, yeah, we don't want our entire search engine to be just AI slop everywhere, and we need to make sure everything's fact checked. So we're going to make sure that we're going to basically check if your articles are AI or not with our bots or something. And then
Mhm.
we're only going to push things that are not AI because uh, we want high quality search results. So there were websites that were like, well, we want to win this competition. We want to be at the top results, so we need to adapt. So the way they adapted is they would check articles, they would scan them through the ChatGPT AI, and they would see if it matches up with what ChatGPT might make out of a prompt versus what a person might type.
Mhm.
And the funny thing was that I think most articles actually, and my girlfriend was writing these articles by hand, they would be sent back, and they would say, hey, it was 80-90% AI writing.
Mhm. What?
And you know why this was happening? So the reason this was
What?
happening was because before AI came to be, there's something called, I think, uh, grammar, Grammarly. I don't know if you've heard of Grammarly.
I have.
Okay, so Grammarly, ha! Hilarious, by the way. Check this out. ChatGPT, check grammar with ChatGPT. It's right there, bot, right? Think deep. So Grammarly was the bot that would check people's grammar to make sure that everything was grammatically correct. And basically,
Mhm.
everyone that would write articles would type up their article, then run it through Grammarly to make sure that everything was kosher with like the grammar,
Yeah.
everything. And guess what? That ChatGPT is using Grammarly to make sure that the grammar is correct. So if you run your thing through Grammarly and it all looks fine, then ChatGPT runs it and checks it with Grammarly. Guess what happens? It looks like AI wrote your article because it's grammatically accurate to how Grammarly makes sure everything is right. So people were getting
Right.
things sent back because Grammarly was already being used by everybody to make sure everything was grammatically correct. So like they were getting false positives on the articles being generated because
Mhm.
people were already using AI to just make sure their articles were intact grammatically. So because of course
Right.
ChatGPT is going to use Grammarly or some form of it to make
You're
sure that
right,
its grammar is
obviously.
correct. Of course. So people are also
Yeah.
using the same tool to make sure their grammar is correct too. So it's like,
Yeah, and then it checks. Yeah, it makes
what?
so much sense, but it's
What?
like so stupid, right? It's
Yes.
like it makes so much sense, but it shouldn't. It doesn't make sense, right? Why they
Yes.
would then
And so they would fire
integrate it.
people or send articles back just incessantly because they thought that it was AI or written articles, but it was because there was an overlap in how ChatGPT might make sure its grammar was correct, and Grammarly would make sure that people's writing was correct. It was the same thing. So
Mhm.
there was overlap. Of course, there was overlap, and the overlap was causing the websites to think that their articles that people were actually writing were generated by chat or generated text, and so that was just like that was a really interesting. That was just funny.
That's how shit hit the fan. Yeah.
So like it's again the whole. I think that when AI hit the fan and when they became a thing, people were freaking out so much. But I think we just don't. It's new technology. We don't know anything about. We do know a lot about it, but the implications of it, the cultural effect of it, the climate of the internet, like
We don't know.
there's so many factors at play that assuming the impact of AI just because of the apocalyptic, like what's the worst that could happen, I think it's just ridiculous. I think that's just unwise and silly. Um, Fun guy. I searched grammar correction bot for on Safari. ChatGPT was the first result, and the second result was Google Gemini. Laugh my ass off. Yeah, yeah. Nowadays, people use ChatGPT to check grammar, just like they used Grammarly to check grammar before. I wonder why. uh, I wonder if there's some kind of overlap there. And also, like the whole advertising things about like, oh, we're using AI to do these things, we're using AI to do those things. It's like, well, uh, you have what even, it's like becoming this advertising thing as well, really overblown thing of like everything is run by AI. We're implementing this cool new thing, and they'll basically say it's this cool new thing, but what they're really doing is just remarketing something that's already been there for decades. They're saying it's AI because it's something that might attract people into thinking it's something new and cool and technologically advanced, when there might not be anything new about it. It just might be a repackaging of something that's already been there. It's just a way to basically compete in the climate that we're in, where AI is the new hot topic, and people want to try it out. They want to use it. They want to see what happens when they use it. They want to see if it's better than what's come before. And I think that's the big debate: is AI better than what's come before? And when it comes to art, it is not only is it not better, and it might one day be better, but
Yeah,
the
it
way
might
we're
be. Yeah,
measuring better
but
is wrong.
yeah,
That's the
exactly. Right.
problem. The
We
way
want
people are measuring it is just completely wrong. It's a totally different, apples to
like it
oranges,
might
more like
it
apples
might
to
be
fucking tomato. I don't know, tomatoes.
like how do we get art objectively better? We can't, can we? Right? It's always going to be in a subjective manner. And I mean, some people might at some point enjoy AI art more subjectively, right? That is definitely a thing that can happen.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If it
Doggo,
gets,
what's up?
I don't even know how to say better, but like it can pump art more that is decently good at a good pace, right?
Well, better for who? That's the question.
Yeah,
What
exactly.
do
I
you
mean, that is
consider
going to
to
be
be better?
subjective. But
I think that for people who like fast food, uh, oh, oh my God. Hi, is that Joel? I think that's Joel.
I think
Hi
so.
Joel.
Yeah.
Um, oh my gosh, what a wall of text. Um,
What's up? What's up?
so
What's up? What's up?
um, so what is better, right? So yeah, I mean, like when we're talking about music theory, we're talking about optimizing communication. So like, how can you communicate better your emotional idea through the music language? So how does AI better communicate that? So, oh yeah, I was gonna say, for some people, it's better that I get the food as soon as possible for me, right? I am kind of biased towards really liking fast food. Why? Because what am I interested in? What do I value? What is better for me? Is the food is faster. When I want the food, it is as what is the latency between I want food and I am now eating the food, and how does it make me feel? I think that I'm biased. That's not a great barometer for having a healthy diet at all,
Truly,
because that's
not at
gonna
all.
I have to resist this bias, but I have this bias. I am waiting to the last minute to have food, and when I do have the food, I am going to prioritize getting something in my mouth as soon as possible, way more than I'm going to prioritize the quality of the flavor or the quality of the ingredients and like all that stuff. So junk food is like perfectly optimized for me. Like
But I
I,
mean, that would
you know, going
definitely
around
mean
route.
that that would definitely mean in a way that some people, in a sense, when it comes to like music or anything, maybe they will
Rock and roll
listen to
McDonald's. Yes.
rock and roll McDonald's, right? I mean, you can write yourself a rock and roll McDonald's song; it's gonna be shit. But like you know the like you can an AI generate one, right? But
Yeah.
if it's the instant reward you want, I guess
If you just want sounds that sound like rock and roll, and
sound
you
like
just
it.
want something to, maybe you want something that is going to just amp you up for a workout. Let's say you're going to work out and you plug in your earbud and you're like, I need something that's going to get my adrenaline up, and that's it, right? If that is your goal, then you're not going to really care if it's like AI generated rock and roll. You're not even going to notice if it's AI generated rock and roll versus like a famous artist. And even if you did care, even if you did hear the famous artist, you probably wouldn't have the attention or any level of like engagement with it that would make you appreciate the differences between that better art, that more refined, let's say, art versus like the AI. So, right? Like,
No,
So that's why AI can exist. That's why AI can be successful. What space is it successful in? In the space of ignorance, in the space of where you don't care about any of the details of it. You just want
Yeah,
something
exactly.
that is going to surface level just make you feel a certain thing. Um, but it's just the
Yeah,
that that's it. That's
it's
it.
like a placeholder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I mean,
It
maybe
will
at some point.
create the shell, and if the look is all you care about, then you get the look. If you want the substance, you have to go to something that isn't AI because there's nothing past the mask. The mask is all that's there.
Joel
Um,
just threw in the link for the actual song "Rock and Roll McDonald's." I didn't know that was an actual thing. It has 3.2 million views.
oh my gosh,
Your favorite sports are
wild. let
Yeah,
let's listen to this. Rock and Roll McDonald's.
the dopamine hit when you search on music on a music site for something interesting music. I think
McDonald's is a place to rock. It is a restaurant where they buy food to eat. It is a good place to listen to the music. People flock here to get down to the rock music. Rock and roll McDonald's. Rock and roll McDonald's. Rock and roll McDonald's. Rock and roll McDonald's. McDonald's will make you fat. They serve Big Macs. They serve quarter pounders. They will put pounds on you. Rock and roll McDonald's. Rock and roll McDonald's. Rock and roll McDonald's. Rock and roll McDonald's.
That's kind of a 5-1 in there, right? A little bit.
I mean, it's just bum ba bum ba ba. It's like the Vexibus. How do you know?
Yeah. Um. Oh wait, hold on. It's not. It's not going to be picking up what you're saying right now. Hold up. I messed something up. Desktop. Okay, say something.
Hello.
There we go. And then is this now? There we go. Okay, I needed the Discord and the this to be run separate channels so I can balance the two.
Yeah, it's called alternating bass, right?
Alternating bass.
Yeah, it doesn't really change the chord, does it? There's like no true 5-1, but only the bass movement of it, right?
Yeah, so Fun Guy says, I actually enjoy cooking so long I'm not in an environment that's like judgmental. Exactly.
I
So,
do love cooking as well. I
but I
cook
hate
as
the
well
cleaning
quite
a
well.
lot. Oh yeah, the cleaning is a lot. Yeah, I help my
Yeah,
girlfriend with cleaning a lot with
that,
cooking. Or at least she really doesn't like the cleanup, of course. And nobody
of
does.
course. Who does?
But the yes, so that's the whole thing I was thinking about is like if you judge less but you still do the performance of like going in stage and doing the, let's say Les Miserables out of school or something. If you're judged less, you're more likely to do it. So how do
True.
you judge less but teach better? How do you teach so that so you're more ready, but not in a way that makes the person feel like you are harshly being judged and that there's like a lot of pressure of how you're doing things. That's a tricky balance. That's tricky. It really feeds back into that. It makes me think of that. The dopamine hit when you search on a music site for some interesting music and then you find the interesting music cannot be compared to just writing a prompt and then generate a song for you, and it's mostly very generic. The problem for me is like I'll listen to some songs AI and I'm like, this sounds like reasonably fine actually. But then
Yeah.
the problem is that is literally where the road ends. The conversation ends there. The problem isn't that the song isn't a song or that this music is bad. The problem is that even if the music were good, because RNG wise, right, Murphy's law, there's probably a world in which the AI is going to make something that's phenomenal. The problem is that the conversation ends with the song was phenomenal. There is no way to continue from there. After that, if you are just trying for consumer, for the consumer's point of view, a surface level like just consumer is all that is all they that's it. That's where they wrote ops for them as well. That's why the AI is successful. That's why the AI's tools and all those things are successful. It's because for a lot of people, there is a community, a lot of people, that is all that they are. That's relevant to them. But if you want to converse past that, if you want to analyze the music, if you want to discuss, have a conversation with the artist behind the music, none of that exists. There is a hollow void behind that mask. There is nothing. Well, what there is actually the culmination of the entire history of all art ever made that the AI is scooping from and then compiling you the AI from. So because none of that is being tracked, at least currently, right? It should be. And when you go on Steam, let's say games that are published on Steam now have to tell you what the AI stuff was trained on. If you used AI in your game, you have to tell them. You also have to track what the AI was trained on. You have to own the things that the AI was trained on, that's the current problem online, right? The AI is literally trained on literally everything with no checks at all. And so because of that, there is no way to analyze the music. So if I wanted to analyze a piece of work and it was AI generated, there would be no conversation. It doesn't exist. There's nothing to talk about. That's the problem. Nothing to engage with past what you're hearing.
Very great. Very great summary of it. I feel like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Constantly to forget to drink.
Yeah, hydrate, guys. Hey, the one thing me and AI can agree on is you gotta hydrate.
Sure.
Very much. Get what I'm saying? Get what I'm saying there? AI really knows how to hydrate. I'll tell you that.
Really knows how to dehydrate others, especially.
Yeah, it requires a lot of water to stay keep running.
It is really good at telling you that you should stay hydrated, but it's really bad at keeping you hydrated.
Mm-hmm.
In a way.
Yeah. My father, quote unquote, made some AI generated song in the 70s prog progressive rock style, and it has very repetitive lyrics, very off low vocals, weird drum sounds, and sounds like someone trying to imitate Pink Floyd very badly. To be fair, if you aren't versed into that style, it might somewhat sound normal. That's the thing. So, I mean, the early days, I think there's a video of Markiplier doing prompts with AI, and he was like, tell me the story, and then he would like tell it to do all kinds of things with the story, and it was really funny actually. So it had some fun comedy. Trying to think of like what is like the closest thing to like the most like, I don't know, normalizable. Where is this going? Like once the dust settles, where is the AI going to slot in? And I almost feel like, you know how there's those what's it called? I think that the AI art actually has the most successful success in like memes and comedy. Caricature. I think caricature is actually the place where AI has the most potential long-term like success or slotting.
That makes sense.
Because think about it, right? You might AI generate someone saying something really funny and ridiculous. Like you've seen those like memes of like, I don't know, like maybe a song of like some like high profile figure saying something really silly and ridiculous.
Yeah.
Those are like caricatures basically of things that are going on in the world, right? And AI can create that like this. You don't have to do any of the editing and all that stuff, and it's comedy. It's hilarious. It might be funny. I think that comedy is where at least there are purists who will be like, no, you know, comedy takes a certain finesse and all this stuff. For sure, you're gonna have people who are very down the rabbit hole in everything. Everything has a rabbit hole you can jump down, but I almost feel like AI will have the most long-term success as a form of generating comedic visual stuff. And I think that people are the most okay and laugh off the AI stuff when it's about comedy. When it's trying to imitate something that is a deep and thoughtful artistic expression, I think that is when people get the most upset, because again, like we've talked about just now, that's the problem. That the depth is being fabricated when there literally, by definition, there is no depth.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, it's kind of. I mean, that's what we're looking for in art, right?
Mm-hmm. Depth. Yeah.
I mean, that is what I'm looking for, right? But I'm not looking for that in AI, right? I can't be finding it there at the moment, at least.
Yeah.
I'm gonna probably head out in a sec to play some Inscription.
Oh yeah,
Play
sure,
more.
sure. Okay, yeah. Definitely enjoy that. I'm thinking about what else. Maybe I'll pull someone else in. Yeah. But
You can definitely
thanks
do
for
that.
watching. Thanks for the questions. I really, really appreciate that very much. And I'll definitely have Tim back on in the future.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm gonna be happy to see that. Also, fun guy. You gotta go to sleep as well. Have a great night.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks for
Alright.
joining. Bye, Hansi. Thanks for coming in.
See ya.
I am still probably streaming, maybe for a little bit longer. Hansi, you're here in spirit. Make sure you're also lurking 100%. You know, if you're lurking, then can you settle? Why are you crying? Maybe he needs some water. But if you're watching, if you're lurking, that means there's more likely that there's going to be discovery, right? Maybe we'll get some new viewer who is interested in asking some questions. New viewers, and then we can talk to them about stuff. So yeah, the more of you guys lurk who are hanging out, the better. The more likely we'll get some random people to join, and the more the community will grow, and the more interesting conversations that we might have. I love hearing different opinions about these different things. Yeah. Gosh, it was so fun. There was so many things that we didn't get to with Tim at all, and I would love to get to those things. So I'm really looking forward to another run of this. I really hope so. In the future, we'll definitely have Tim back. One of the topics was actually AI, and so that's kind of why I was rambling about that just now. Let me see. Yeah. I'm gonna pull in Joel. Hi, Joel.
Yo.
Yep. I'm gonna go take care of my dog for a short bit, but if you had some thoughts you wanted to say on stream, on live, you are live. Welcome, Joel. Maybe about the AI stuff I was talking about.
I have no thoughts in my head. I have an empty skull.
That's not true.
Who's all here?
Say again.
Who's all here? Hansi's still in the chat.
I think
Fun
Hansi's still here. Fun guy was, yeah. Liz was at the beginning. I'm back.
So I wasn't able to watch the stream. What did you guys talk about?
a bunch of
I'll have to check out
things.
the VOD or something.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll post the VOD. It'll have timestamps as well.
Cool.
We basically talked about, like, I mean, the topic of the stream is music education 36 years ago versus today. I mean, like, I am 36 years apart between me when I graduated high school and when Tim graduated high school. We're 36 years apart. So, I want to hear his thoughts on how music education has evolved over the years. And we talked about voice because he's a vocal teacher. And so, yeah, we just talked about like how student expectations, what students might have expected in the past, how teachers taught in the past, how teachers teach today, what things were improved, what things we should go back to. Just how what's going forward, what should be going on, what would be healthy for the educational kind of world, and how people should approach learning music. Like one big topic was definitely like, shoot, I'm blanking now. The Yeah, how to approach different students with different goals, like what kind of maybe like problems students might have with like how, I mean, it's like a commitment, right? Like maybe you might take a lesson and or two, and then like you might jump to like, oh, I think this is just not a good fit, or I'm just not enjoying this. Like, like how do you pursue art in a way that is going to make you have an enjoyable and fulfilling experience from the get-go to some degree? What are some assumptions that maybe people have that they don't realize that they're having that maybe won't work, or which ones are reasonable and the teachers need to adapt better to what students are asking? Those kind of things. Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of went over
So
a
what's
bunch
the
of stuff.
biggest difference between back then and now, you think?
Well, with voice specifically, Hansi was asking about the whole like technological scientific advancements with that. There's been a lot of discovery and advancement with that, because before it was very mysterious and mystical, like learning to sing and all of that. The skills that you might do when you teach those skills, there wasn't very much scientific backing or evidence to help kind of communicate
Because
those
you couldn't see
things.
it. You couldn't see it, but now you can see it probably with
That's
tools.
right, and we have way more understand of how mechanically our voice works, and that's and he said it enhanced his teaching a lot, and that
Yeah.
was a blessing. And there are some purists who would get really upset about that, would be like, oh, I liked the mystical thing. They might be emotionally attached to that past, a way that
Yeah.
things were. But he's like, no, this is good. This is good. We have better understanding of how things work, and we have to just live in the reality that our voice works a certain way in this scientific. There are scientific things about how the voice works,
Agree. Yeah.
and
Agree.
so and I was answered with how that's it would be denying reality in the literal sense to not.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
of
so we had some
course.
great convo about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. I'll link you the VOD when it's done, and it'll be at the beginning. Yeah, you can
Cool.
rewatch it sometime if you wanted to
Yeah.
watch it and give me your thoughts as well. One of the big ones was I shared this actually. Well, maybe I'll hear your thoughts on this too, but yeah, this was actually a really big point that me and Tim were talking about, that really he found really inspiring, and he actually is planning to write an article in like a blog about for voice and stuff, and he wanted to quote this thing that I actually created basically, and I'll show you what it is. So basically this. So when you have a student and when you're teaching two things. You're teaching mastery of the instrument or whatever you're doing, the skills, and then mastery of the repertoire, what you're going to do with those skills. And so you have goals, yes or no, and then you have mastery of the instrument, yes or no, like you care about those things or don't care about those things, or have specifics, don't have specifics. So the ideal student would both want to learn the skills and they have specific goals that they want to do, right? But then there are some students who might have wanting to master the instrument, but they don't really have anything specific. They're like, oh, just give me whatever songs. I don't really care. I just want to play. You know, I just want to play the instrument. I just want to learn how to do it. I've always wanted to play. But when you ask them what goals they have, what they want to do on the instrument, they don't really have answers for that. They don't really care either. They just want the teacher to just give them things and, whatever. So those are people usually that actually really enjoy. I would say the best example of that is people who are in youth orchestras or people who are in community orchestras for older students. They play because they just want to enjoy playing. They don't really care what repertoire the conductor might choose and all that stuff. This is the perfect slot for them or a perfect activity for them. And then there's people, this is the most perplexingly difficult, I think teachers have a difficult time with, is students who don't want to master the instrument, but they have a specific goal in mind that they want to get to. So they want to play a certain song, or they want to do this, or they want to impress a girl with being able to play, or they want to they need to
That's the
pass a
least
test.
valuable long term for a teacher. Yeah.
Yes. So this is tricky.
least
This is
valuable.
really tricky because you want to teach mastery because that's really important.
It's important, and it's in your best interest as a teacher to have that student for a long time instead of just, I teach you how to play one song or two songs and then you're done.
Yeah, they might quit after that. Like, who knows, right? They might just get to that goal and then quit, or they might get to that goal and then maybe they do end up doing things long term. Another one is that they do it long term and then they realize that you were giving them quick fix mastery to get them to that goal to keep them around. But then once they realize, oh, I was learning quick fix, they have to redo the mastery because they learned things in a way that might have just gotten them to the goal, but it sacrificed the proper technique. And so then they're like, oh, I'm really upset about that. They might get upset because they're like, well, I thought I was learning things properly. Like, what the hell is this? So it's frustrating. This is a difficult student to handle. And then you have the last one, which is you have no interest, or you're not really sure about mastery, or you have no goals. You don't really, not even sure about what you want to do. Maybe you're really new. You have no idea what you're doing, and you go, well, maybe if I take a lesson, I'll get answers to these questions. Or I have no idea what I'm doing. So this is like exposure. I call it the exposure group. People who you would then try to expose them to different things to then see what they would resonate with, and maybe that would lead them to figuring out what camp they're in. So my answer, so my one of the biggest helpful things about this was this: the way that I address someone who doesn't want mastery but has a goal in mind is that you don't argue to get them to be convinced that they should learn mastery. You instead debate the goal. So you might have a song you want to play, but maybe you don't have to play it in 5 flats. You can play it in C major, or if for a violinist, D major is one of the easiest keys to play in. So maybe you can change the key. Do you care about the key that the song is in? Is that important to you? Probably not, because you don't even know what a key is. Or you're like, well, I just want to play that melody how I hear it in my head. It's like they are probably not going to care about that key. So then you can negotiate down the goal. Now that we don't have to worry about 5 flats, there is a ton of mastery we've just removed from requirement to get to that goal, right? Because someone who's optimized around here, they're interested in learning as little as possible necessary, only the things that are necessary, trim all the fat, just so they can get to that goal as soon as possible, right? The most efficient path. And they want the teacher to give them the most efficient path. But the most efficient path is not to figure out how to kind of like cram in the mastery before they run out of patience. The way to do it is to change the goal, negotiate down the goal, cut as much as you possibly can from the goal that they don't care about, that would hugely improve, hugely reduce the necessary mastery that it would take to get to the goal. That is the strategy that I've kind of settled down on after doing a lot of thinking about this. And so, yeah, you might change the key. You might remove some of the little embellishments that are in the piece. You might cut them out and just say, hey, let's simplify the rhythm. As long as the rhythm sounds like the song to you, as long as it meets your goal, the things that you actually care, which attributes of the goal do you actually care about, then you can be like, okay, now that we figure this out, first of all, they'll feel heard. They'll feel like instead of you trying to cram in something they don't want, you are addressing what they do want and trying to understand what they want. And the reason that we're cutting down the goal is because we're trying to accommodate you trying to reduce the necessary mastery it would take to get to that goal. Because again, you don't want the mastery, you just want the goal. So then at the end, you go, okay, now let's talk about what it would take to get to this new goal, right? Now that we've reduced the goal to something that is easier to get to through like as little mastery as needed. And then if then they go, well, that's not good enough. I still want that goal, but I don't want to learn those things that you're telling me that I have to learn. Let's say you hit this bedrock. Then you go, well, this is, then we would have to take away things that you do care about when it comes to the goal, because, and that would improve how little mastery it would take you to get to it, but it would change the goal in a way that you are going to actually notice, and that might undermine how satisfying it will be when you reach that goal. You might not feel like you've reached the goal on your own terms. We need to reach the goal on your terms. And so maybe you have to sacrifice some of the goal more if you want to keep reducing how much mastery it would take to get there. And that's a big part of my teaching philosophy, is to kind of figure out first which camp is the student in, and then this is how you would address a student that's like this.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think of
I mean,
that?
I would hope that,
Yeah.
I would hope that H student would eventually maybe lean more and more towards D.
Yeah. So this
over
is
time. If you can work with them and make them happy, hopefully that they would come to that on their own.
Mm-hmm. So D is dedicated. H is hobby. You're doing this as a hobby. You're not interested in getting good at this. You're just interested in doing the thing, and then you might have something that excited you to do the thing, some kind of goal. Oh, I saw somebody play the song and it's so pretty. I want to do the song as a hobby.
So here's the thing, like H works into a point where, say it's the slow movement of this piece or whatever. But once it gets to, say, you're falling in love with the hard piece of music, you can't play that well unless you acquire some technique, and that's going to take the D.
So then you go, either they go to this camp. Either they go to this camp because they're like, well, I'm willing to learn this mastery because of the goal. But also the parameters of the goal are going to evolve as they get better. So the more better you are, the more you will appreciate the mastery you're learning, because it is relevant to addressing the goals the way that you want them met. So I really find that tie to resonate really well. It really puts you on the same team and on the same side as the student, rather than feeling like you guys are at odds. Like you are trying to fight them on trying to get the mastery a proper way, because otherwise it would undermine your quality of teaching. Like your quality of teaching might be under attack, because you're like, well, I can't teach this, because then I am doing a disservice to my own training of how I do this, and a disservice towards people hearing you play that might go like, why is this teacher teaching you like this? This is ridiculous.
Well, of course,
this is such bad technique. But it's like you crammed them into doing the goal, and you taught them technique in a haphazard way because of how little patience they had for this step before getting to this goal. And I think you just have to level with them, be like, hey, I'm going to teach you the skills properly, but we can reduce what skills you need. But whatever skills we do, they're going to be on my terms on how I teach them.
To line up
and
with
my dog wants out again. Go ahead.
You can't fake your way through a piece that's hard. You just can't do it. And if you try to force somebody to do that, and you're going to sign your name as their teacher, that's not something that I would do. I would drop the student. If they said, I want to play the scarso by Chopin, but I don't want to learn how to do it right, I would say, okay, well then we might have to part ways here, because I'm not going to sign my name to that. So
that's a choice. Every teacher has a different. That's true too. So every teacher gets to decide where their tolerance is for this, and how much are they willing. Where they are on this is kind of, I think, personal. Like that's a sliding scale of how much mastery do you feel is necessary for whatever version of the goals. What kind of goals are you willing to help students achieve? What kind of caricatures potentially of those goals are you okay with helping students get to? Which I think old school would very much be like very strong-armed on how much they want the integrity of the goal to stay integral, which is why because nobody was willing to bend down here, the mastery was just there was no arguing, there was no disputes. because of that.
Yeah.
But nowadays,
Yeah.
I think the goals are people can kind of, there's so many options, there's so much variety of like what options you have. You even have YouTube to just get your education there, which is definitely
Yeah.
lower quality than a private lesson, of course, but it might get you to your goal. Who knows, right? So, so because that exists, I find the strategy more optimal in today's climate.
Yeah, it does seem like a good strategy for sure.
So that was a big talking point. And then there was the casual. The hobby is someone who just wants to do this like thing, whereas the casual is someone who is just enjoying playing, but they're not going to push themselves. They want to learn skills, but the skills are not driven by a goal, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
There is no like, I want to learn this piece, so now I'm motivated to learn a skill. They're just learning a skill for the sake of the skill, so they can basically, let's say, play in a social environment, like play in an orchestra. They get to play in an orchestra, they feel good about playing, and that's good enough for them. So you're not going to be
Yeah.
able to go like, hey, we should learn this next piece, and that might push you to be a better player. That usually just doesn't resonate with this camp. Because they're like, well, I'm not playing for the sake of a piece. I'm just playing because I want to hang out with other people that play too. And
Yeah, C is like the category of it's the kind of person who they just want to practice their thing, because it is an activity to do. H is like, I love this piece so much, I can't play it yet, but I want to play it. I don't care about getting good, I just want to play the piece. Like
Yep.
the actual music, the piece is behind why they're doing it at all. That'd be H.
And then like, for example, someone who is like, I've had students who come in and they're like I had this one student who was like classically trained. They really struggled with playing. They wanted to play this classical stuff. They were older student, but they were clearly here. Well, I mean, they were like somewhere here because they definitely wanted to master the instrument, but they thought that the only way they could master it was they had to go through the classic rep, they had to go through all the classic training, and then only after can they pursue musicals. And they loved musicals. I got the answer out of them eventually. After a couple of
really?
lessons, they were like, I love musicals. I am just head over heels over musicals. I'm like, then why don't you just learn on musicals? And she was like,
That's a different
oh,
approach.
you can do
Yeah.
that? Her answer was, you can do that? She was like, I thought you have to learn
Wow.
classical first before you can even address any of the other genres, because classical is where you start learning the skills. And my answer was, of course, right? Like, this is just a canvas. You can learn skills on any piece, regardless of
Right.
genre.
Yeah.
So there we kind of moved to, because like, so then it was like, oh, like, let's learn on a piece that's actually what you want to learn. And the skills you might need for classical are different from the ones you would need for musical. Like, musical is lead sheet. So my next step with her was to go and do lead sheets and learn how to read a lead sheet, not learn how to read notation like hardcore. We were literally learning like sonatas, like Mozart, like just like simple sonatas and stuff, sonatinas. And it was like, well, this is not actually, there are skills here that we're trying to address that are difficult, that are not relevant to playing a musical.
Now, that said, I mean, the more skills you get on that side of it, it will, like, getting the facility of your hand. I mean, that's going to help you play piano in general better. You know what I mean? But you don't need to have that to play Hell Dolly. You don't need to be able to play etudes to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Of
So
course.
fastest path to that would be just address that genre. Obviously.
So there's so much. That's just an example of just how much like uninformed, how often students are making uninformed decisions and assumptions about what exists, what options they have. And one of the things I really care about a lot is making students more informed. You need to be informed when you're making these decisions, because you don't even know that you're not informed.
Parents too.
Yes, parents as well. How many parents drop off their kid and they don't even know what the student is doing in lessons? It's like daycare, basically, a relationship with it. They're like, well, I'll just let them do a thing, let them do some music for fun, which is fine. You can do music for fun, but I think that in lesson you need to kind of get them thinking. They need to be thinking and interacting with, how am I emotionally responding to the things I'm doing? How am I emotionally experiencing the music that I am listening to or trying to play? I think just going through the motions and not engaging emotionally, actively bringing that to the front is, I think you're gonna have people then stuck in lessons when they hate it and they don't even know, or they're wasting their time, and there's so much time and money, and how much that's gonna cost you, like how many lessons you're paying for, and like I mean, there are lessons I'll sit in sometimes, and like I'm just like, and like this is like with a school where I'm just given the students, I don't choose the students or anything, and I don't get much interactions maybe with the parents or something. So it's like, I what is it's just like I feel like I'm just standing there and just okay, just play stuff, and I'm just like, it's hard sometimes to get that conversation going. You really need to, I think, bring that to light. And I've been, you have to find creative ways to do it. Some people are just not willing to open up, unless whatever. It's tricky. It's a tricky business. Tricky business.
It's a tricky business. This music stuff.
This music stuff is
Sorry,
tricky
guys.
stuff.
Inside joke.
Yeah, no,
Well,
it's
I mean, I
because
guess
this other time streaming, we were having a
yeah.
lot of debate about analysis of music, and we were like, and we were arriving at interesting conclusions and deliberating and whatever. And yeah, it's like, yeah, it's a tricky business, is what we basically coined from that. Yeah. One day I'll have, if I get affiliate with Twitch or something, I'll have emotes, and one of them could be, like tricky business,
Tricky
or
business,
something,
yeah.
or like
like
this one that I do,
Yeah.
the that could be an emote. Yeah, I definitely am looking forward to that. That'll
Yeah,
be a lot of
some
fun.
situations warrant that, I'd say. Oh, there's the background. Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah. This is the city from Deus Ex. Yep, the 2-floor city. You see how if you live down here, you don't get any rain,
Yeah.
anything,
No sunlight.
and
No
the
rain, no
flying
sunlight.
car and
Yeah.
stuff. Yep.
Bad ventilation.
Yeah, pollution. It's just suffocation. It's like this is
It
a
looks like
symbol of suffocation of the lower class.
right. It looks like to me that the top part of the city is not. It's not that much. Like
Yep.
if it goes towards the right of the screen, does that actually go off screen? Does it become a bigger city than that?
Over here, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
It's just a few buildings. It's not that much.
Yeah, these are like how many floors is that? Probably 40 or
Yeah,
so
something.
floors. So yeah, this is a big central building. I don't remember exactly what's on here. Like
in the game, you
story-wise.
play.
I played
in
the
that,
game.
right?
It's been a while. I'm pretty sure you do go to this city. I think this is from Deus Ex Human Revolution. Maybe not from the Mankind Divide. I think it is Deus Ex Human Revolution. Yeah. God, that game is insane. By the way. Yeah.
Sorry to derail. I didn't mean.
Oh, it's
to
fine. It's fine. Yeah, it's not that I'm like, oh yeah, cool, like the upper class stomping on the low class. It's more like I love the what a bold and blatant way of just like making basically something that is supposed to be symbolic literal. Finding a literal way
Yeah.
to symbolize something that is symbolic is so cool to me. I find that so cool because they found a way to make that symbolism of the like the upper class, lower class kind of
Class
thing with the
warfare.
the class war of the dystopian, futuristic world, and they found a
Yeah.
literal representation of the symbolism of it, which is like, oh, I love how punchy that is,
It's punchy.
Oh yeah, so
You have an Outer Wilds poster. Do you have a Valheim poster too?
do I have a Valheim poster? No, I do not, but maybe I should get one. I really should. At this point, I'd
That'd
really
be
do it
cool.
because I'm
That'd be
really
sick.
Valheim is up there now in my top 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should. Oh, I could show off some of my vinyls actually, because I love collecting vinyls because I love the music. Let me show off some of my vinyl collection,
Super.
which I wish I could post the or like hang them up or something, or get some shelves. This is like leasing, so we can't really do that too much, but maybe I could set it up at least on the table over there or something. So let's see here. We got the Hollow Knight vinyl.
Oh, that's a video game, yeah.
Hollow Knight. Soul of
Nice.
Wyvern, Soul of Root, Heart of Void.
Mhm.
Yeah. Hollow Knight. Then I have Sea of Thieves, which this one is actually
Very
really
nice.
cool. This one is really, really cool. The reason this one's really cool is because it has, I think, 6 vinyls in it, and it has also 3D pop-ups and stuff. So it has all this art and of course all this album of just tales and whatever. But the really cool part is in this. Yeah, so there's 6 sides, so that's 3. I think there's 3 in here. Let me see if I can show you a little bit. Yeah, so the front one. I think it had. Yes. So there's the vinyl, but the cool thing about it is that it
Is
has
it actually
a.
vinyl or is it plastic?
No, it's a vinyl. It's a real
Oh,
vinyl.
that's sick.
But these are real vinyls. Yeah, these are playables. I don't have the vinyls player yet because I just saving a little bit, but eventually I
Mhm.
will buy one. But look, it has a pop-up thing
Nice.
on it. So it's a vinyl, but it has a pop-up.
That's
I don't
really
think it's on
cool.
both sides. I think it's just one side. Yeah. So it has a pop-up
I-
thing so that when it plays, it's gonna spin the ship on it, and it's gonna be cool.
It's really cool. I bought a cheap one last year, a player, and it's
Oh yeah.
really cool to have. Yeah,
Gosh, look at this
would recommend.
gorgeous art. Oh my god. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
If you want to
you
link it, you
like
can link it in the
cheap
chat.
ones run like $50 maybe.
Really? Okay. Not too
Yeah,
bad. Maybe link it in the chat if you
but there's
want
like
people to check it out.
a feel that it has, Yeah, sure.
Oh, I love it. The paintbrush style is so cool.
This was the one that I bought.
Oh, this one's really a special one too, because there's like a in the plot there's like a music box that has this exact thing. So it's it's
Oh,
really
really?
like vibe wise and like relevance wise, it's just this is so perfect.
Hmm.
Gosh. I really need to
It's
get a
so fun
player.
hearing like the scratches and stuff. It just adds so much character to it, and
Mm.
it's nice. It's nice to have.
I hope I'm not killing anyone who's like a purist with vinyls and be like, oh my god, you're touching the wrong spots. I hope I'm not upsetting anyone. I'm touching the paper to help it slide in, and then I'm sliding in. I
It
think I'm
looks like
okay.
it,
You
it
have to
looks
grab
like
the
the disc.
edges.
Hmm.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Um, it looks like plastic to me,
It's not. I don't think so.
which is fine. I mean, it's.
But can vinyls be plastic? Are they usually
I
made of
think so.
plastic? Maybe it is. So that was the Sea of Thieves one. The Red Sea.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. I played a lot of Sea of Thieves, and the music is great in it. The shanties are great in it. So you get all the versions of the shanties. You get some music that's not even like arrangements that are special in there too.
Hmm.
League of Legends.
Okay, I'm sorry. Vinyl is a kind of plastic, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
Okay, so
apologize.
then okay, so that makes
Yeah.
sense. But I don't think it's a normal. It's not like the plastic of like a plastic bottle or something. I think
No,
it's a
no, it's
different.
not.
Yeah, it's like a higher
No, it's
quality
different. Yeah.
thing. This is Worlds. So I loved one of the things that got me into League of Legends was seeing the World Championships. That was so exciting. The way that the casters, the shoutcasters, were able to just get it was so exciting to watch. Oh my god, that's what got me.
I was
That's what
never
got me
into that
stuck playing the
game.
game for 10 years.
Yeah,
So
my brother hit rank 1 when he was 16. for like
In
a
League?
week. Yeah.
On who? What did he do? He
I
played
don't
something?
know his name. I think well, I know he was jungler, I think. That word seems to ring a bell. I forget the champion though. But yeah, he to get there he had to sacrifice his health basically, and so he couldn't keep it up.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's crazy
He was
competitive.
offered
Crazy.
he was offered some kind of like game house job when he was 16 out in California somewhere. They bought him a ticket like before he even answered them. So he basically said,
Damn.
"I'm not doing that. You know, I can't live that life. It's too stressful."
It is stressful. Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, he was
God.
grinding it every day. His diet was bad. He didn't go outside. It was bad for him, but
Yeah, these are all the songs,
nice.
the big ones. So we got Warriors by Imagine Dragons. Uh Worlds Collide, Ignite, Legends Never Die was a huge one. Rise was a really big one too. And then Take Over, Burn It All, Star Walking. Gods. Gods was so good, by the way. That was the latest one. That was 2023. This is all the way from 2014 to 2023, all the world songs. All the songs that were either the Warriors was not written for Worlds, but all the other ones I'm pretty sure were commissioned in like, the official songs for that year of world competing. I'm gonna turn on the light as well to help make it visually easier to see what I'm doing. That's better. Archer, the show.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
This vinyl had to be eBay because it was like always out of stock on IM 8-bit, I think is what it's called, where I got a lot
What
of
kind of
these.
music is in this show? Is it
Yeah.
jazzy?
Oh yeah.
It seems like that's the kind of
Oh
thing
yeah.
would be.
It's the James Bond comedy, basically comedy version of it
I
with
gotcha.
R-rated jokes.
It
That's
used to be
basically
on
this
Adult
show.
Swim back in the day.
Yes, it was. It was on Adult Swim.
Yeah.
Archer title sequence. Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic music. That's the intro. Archer OST show. I mean, main theme? Is there a main theme? No, that is the main theme. That is kind of the main theme.
That was, yeah.
Yeah, that is the main theme. There were some really good tracks. I don't remember which ones were which. Let me see if I can find one that was iconic to the show. Because that one doesn't really do anything musically that much. It just kind of sits on this chord.
Right.
Yeah. Gosh, I'm trying to remember, but I can't really remember right now anything that I could highlight other than that.
There's a Bob's Burgers crossover?
Yes, they did. Well, it was not it was him as like it was like a nod to Bob's Burgers.
Oh, okay.
Here, it's great stuff. The voice acting is S tier, by the way.
Okay, kids, who wants Manning coleslaw? And/or an explanation of why that's funny. Sorry, guys, we're, closed. Yeah. Thanks for getting the sign for me, because we are closed. Especially now that the door's locked. And you're not really supposed to be back here.
Looks like
Even
Flash.
if you have a, I was gonna say hairnet.
Bob?
Huh?
The art style looks like Flash to me.
Maybe it is. I'm not sure.
Like the render
Yeah, I
or
know
whatever.
which one you're talking about. I've used Flash, like the Adobe, right? Adobe Flash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything?
Everything's fine. We're...
Close, Bob. It's
Linda, take the kids in the back. Kids, go in the back with your mom.
Bob, what do they want?
Hamburgers, Linda. Now, would you please go in the goddamn back?
Well, excuse me, Ike Turner. Jeez.
Look, the Hamburger wasn't a big seller, so there's not much, but,
We don't want money. We want you.
I'm sorry?
We are not robbers.
Oh. Well, then what do you want?
You. Ubit family.
Duh. What? No!
He said in Russian, "Kill the family." Would be yeah.
Diese Kids sind icy spielen. Even if you kill us, more will come. Archer.
Korosho! Ja I told za mucho toda!
Bob!
Oh my god. Are you guys okay?
But Bob, where'd you learn to do that?
I don't know. It was like, instinct.
Were you speaking Russian?
Was I? I don't even know any Russian. Look, the label in his coat has those idiot Russian letters.
Where the hell are Russians trying to kill you?
I don't know. He called me Archer. Maybe they think I'm somebody else.
Somebody who gambles?
When would I gamble, Linda? The 6 hours a night I get to sleep? Because the other 18 hours I'm slaving over this hot-ass grill.
I didn't know it was such a burden.
Well, of course it's a burden, Lynn. Don't get me wrong. I love you guys, but come on. I've been here 2 months, and it feels like 2 trillion eons.
Well, if that's the way you... What are you doing? You're not leaving.
Yeah.
Whoever they are, he said they'd keep coming. You guys aren't safe if I'm around.
But Bobby...
No buts, Lynn. I'm not gonna let you guys get hurt. Oh, and also, I forgot to tell you guys, the health inspector's coming at 8 a.m., so you, better break out the purple stuff.
I'm sorry. Sterling has been missing for
That was
2
good.
months. We've spent God knows how many thousands of dollars and man-hours searching for him. And this whole time, he's just been down at the shore flipping hamburgers.
You know another kind of burger?
Ostrich. Shut up. They're good. Shut up.
Yes, shut up. And then explain to me if you know where Sterling is.
Was. According to our intel, Archer was tracked down by a KGB hit squad.
Oh, my God.
That's his mother, by the way. The one in the jacket here, the middle white hair.
Sorry. I should have started that with Archer's fine, the KGB hit squad. Come on! Not so much.
My God. But so, where is he now?
At a spa, according to his, wife.
His what?
Linda. She said his name was Bob. He wandered in there in full morning dress 2 months ago. They got married.
Married? The minute they met? Who does that?
Ostriches.
Little son of a... He's obviously doing this just to get even with me.
Normally, I would agree. But after talking to the wife, I honestly think Archer doesn't know he's Archer.
Yeah, there's like a whole thing, but yeah. So that was like a Bob. That was like a Bob's Burgers kind of like crossover, like thingy that they did. It's a fantastic show. Some of my favorite comedy out there. Amazing. Yep. Oh, more vinyls, sure. So that was one vinyl. Then there's the Inscription game. So Hansi said he was going to play. He's currently playing through this game. An incredible game. This is Inscription.
Look at that.
Yeah, gorgeous art piece with the soundtracks here. There's that cabin. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Blue Eye Samurai. That's a really, really good show as well. Fantastic music in it. And we can listen to some of this. And then like online. And then Outer Wilds. You know, that Outer
Yeah.
Wilds.
Nice.
Outer Wilds Ventures. All that
I
stuff.
like the simple design. It's nice.
Yeah. And then Outer Wilds Secrets from the Outer Wilds. This is the DLC that they created. The DLC that I played more recently. And yeah. Yep. This one I actually didn't open. Maybe I should open it sometime. This is still in plastic.
Why wait?
Sure. Have to be careful with it.
Oh, don't let me tempt you. Don't let me tempt you.
I really should get vinyl. Maybe there are vinyls for Deus Ex. I actually should. Human Revolution.
Is there a new vinyl smell?
I smell the plasticky kind of, but the different plastic for the vinyl. Let's see. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, you got that
Open it
vinyl
up.
smell. Woo! Okay, yeah, those are spoilers, kind of, but you have no idea what you're looking at anyway, so it's whatever.
Yeah, I don't.
Wow. What is this? Wow. Similar to how the themes of Echoes of the Eye are a descent into madness, it was quite relatable as an entirety of this score was written and recorded while I was in solitude during the 2020-2021 quarantine in Los Angeles, California. Let me actually do this. So I have my other camera that I usually use for my for the piano. See if I can do this. What if I switch cameras here? Ah, how's that? Woo! Wait, does that affect my piano stuff here? It does. It does.
Oh, really?
But that's okay. I'll figure it out later. But it says here. There we go. Notes. So it says here, yeah, similar to how themes of the Echo of the Eyes are a descent into madness, it was quite relatable as the entirety of the score was written during the 2020-2021 quarantine in Los Angeles. While all of us were sealed away in our own vaults, quote unquote, I was able to descend deep into mangling analog synth, granular synthesizers, long guitar effect chains, and combine some of my instrumental recordings to craft some of the otherworldly instruments featured in Echoes in this expansion. With the first Outer Wilds soundtrack, I was hoping to have players explore learning a new instrument after finishing the game, with the album being an extension and reflection of the game's experiences. With Echoes, I hope this helps you explore experimenting with the instruments you've learned as you reflect on your experiences once again after finishing the game. Turning the interactive score of the slide reels into compositions linearly was especially fun to do for this recording. Interesting. Oh shit. Oh my god. There's like, I don't know if you'll be able to catch this on this camera, but there is, can you see that sheet music there under the glare?
The
Hold on. That is wild, by the way. That's so cool because it's like related to also some stuff with the game. Gosh, my phone is
it's kind of, I can't see any
run
sheet
out.
music.
You'll see in a
I'll
second.
be right back. I'll take a quick bio break, okay?
Oh my god, that's so cool. That is so cool. I'm so glad I didn't open it. Otherwise, I would have, I don't know, it would have kind of given some stuff away. Look at that. How is this possible? Oh my god. That is sick that they did that. And then he's like right here, right? Let's see if it'll catch in the cam. What do they want? Who's they? There they are. Transcribe, please. Yeah, so it's the theme. It's the new like melody that one of the characters like will like play basically. Oh no, you know this, Hansi. This is the theme. The theme that that character plays. The ta ta. Dee da dee da da dee da dee da dee ta. There's the A G. And it says, does that say remember? Says something. Remember something.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I had to go.
Question marks
really quick.
theme. Question marks theme. That's what it says there. Question marks and then it says theme. That's wild. So basically they hid here. You can see the sheet music. It's hidden in here, like here. There it is.
Oh, I see it now.
And then it goes to here, like
Yeah.
Yeah, they hid it
That's
in
cool.
here. And like there's a whole bunch. My arm is dying trying to hold the iPad with the but it's fine. But yeah, so they hid it in here because there's like hidden stuff in here. That's on the vinyl, but it's there it is. There's like a thing there, a character there. That's sick. God, that's cool.
That is neat. It's details like that, you know.
Oh my god, yeah, they're
They
playing.
didn't have to do that, but they did it.
They're playing. There. That one's playing the instrument. There it is. Hansi knows what this is.
That's neat.
He played
That's
this.
a hurdy-gurdy, isn't it?
It's kind of
no.
like a hurdy-gurdy, but with a bow thing. It's like it's got a music box right there. It's like a music box that's turns, but then there's also a string that you would bow or pluck. And then this one right here somewhere, there he is. There's another character. That's the head. That's the
Is
arm.
Hansi still with us?
He is, I think. He was just saying they're instruments. Yes, they're instruments. Yep. Yeah, there's the bow. There's the bow. Oh my god, that's so cool! That's so cool! I'm so glad I didn't open this vinyl until I finished the game, because that definitely would be like, oh, what the hell is going on here?
Right.
Yeah, that's so cool. Oh my god. So, kind of spoilers, but...
Oh, I will forget about it.
Trust me. When I get around to playing it, I will forget about all of that.
Probably. And then there's the I want to like do it right. The B side is us.
Mm-hmm.
The A side is that. Why is there like a pop-up on it? I guess I don't know. There's no pop-up. It's just so cool. So yeah, the music from is actually amazing. By the way, the music is absolutely amazing in the second game. I was so happy with it when I played it. So I'm really glad I have this vinyl as well. Yeah, it sold out really fast too, the first vinyl. The second one did not sell out as much because probably some people didn't play it, but it should have. I think it's an insanely good vinyl. God, the fact that it has this hidden thing is insanely cool. That's so
It is.
cool. And I think there's hidden stuff with that you need your light for in the original game vinyls as well, or some hidden something going on there. So I think that's all of them. I think I had intended to buy the Hollow Knight vinyl for the expansion, the expansion of Hollow Knight, the gods and whatever it's the grim not the Phantom Troop, but like the Grim Troop. It was called Grim Troop, I think. Something like the gods or whatever. So that's something on my to-do list for future. But yeah, it was fun talking to Tim. It was nice chatting kind of a bit about it. The other topics.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that pod later.
Trying to think if I want to wrap up or if there's anything else. Because I kind of want a game tonight, so I might just call it here.
Yeah, I'm feeling it too. I'm feeling the game bug.
Maybe I'll play some violin as an outro thing. Play some stuff.
Sure.
Wait, so Joe, you haven't played Hollow Knight?
No. Should I?
Yeah. It's my second favorite game of all time. I think mine right now
that's the 2D platformer, right?
Yes, 2D platformer. Yes. The music is just incredible. Trying to think. So yeah, let me play some of the tracks from the vinyls, maybe. So there was the Outer Wilds music as well, of course. I don't really want to play it unless because I don't want to spoil, because these tracks are like such an emotional hit when the track might play, and if you don't expect those soundtracks to come up, it's such a phenomenal
I see what you mean.
you know, like just moment
Yeah.
of like, yeah, different things. It's just great. I mean, Inscription, the Blue Eye Samurai. I mean, the Hollow Knight stuff. Yeah, there's like the string parts, which are really cool. So let's listen to that a little bit, and then I will sign off. So Hollow Knight Silksong. Lace theme is like a really cool one. That actually was writing arrangement for one of my students for this. So. It's in 5. Then a 3. Two, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 4, 5, 1. Yeah. That's one of the bosses from Silksong, one of the first bosses.
Nice.
Oh, God. It's so good. I was writing an arrangement for to play it as a duet with my student, one of my students, for violin viola. Yeah. So I kind of went through by year, writing this out, basically. Yeah. I'll play some of it. What do you think, I guess, Joe?
I like it.
Yeah, it's like I won't be able to play all the parts, of course. It's supposed to be like a quartet mainly. It's all strings, but yeah. Is it processed audio? It is. And let me fix that. Like this, probably better. No, so And then it was like, yeah, it's so fun to play. Yeah.
Nice.
Mm. Mm. No, it just goes on, all that stuff. Oh, so fun! It's so fire.
It
It's
sounds
so
fun.
fun. Oh yeah, it's an absolute blast. I'd love to transcribe it all for a quartet and play it with maybe some friends sometime. Because the sheet music isn't out yet. There's like I have the piano, the piano arrangement scores, the official ones that they work together on somewhere here. Yeah. For Hollow Knight. This is the piano scores. The official ones. They're not exactly what's in the actual tracks. Some things deviate a little bit to just make it better for piano. But yeah, it has all the like Dirtmouth. It has all the original stuff. Gosh, Dirtmouth is a gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous track. Yeah, I'd love to play some of that on piano, honestly. But yeah, the Silk Song was much more strings heavy, much more harp heavy. Whereas the original Hollow Knight is much more piano heavy songs and music. Yeah, the the character is very different, right? The Hollow Knight, is different from this is Hornet. Hornet is the main I guess like character that you play in Silksong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hansi's saying Silksong has insane music.
Yes, it's insane. It's so good. I haven't seen or played Expedition 33, which technically won the soundtrack of the year, game soundtrack of the year. But I'm bet if Expedition 33 didn't exist, 100% Christopher Larkin would have won this for best track of the year. Because the track is incredible, and it's honestly, I think it's actually underrated. Even though it's highly rated, I think it's actually still underrated because it's insane. It's actually insane how incredibly well crafted that track is when it comes to delivering just what's going on in the music, what's going on in the game. It's incredible. Yeah. I could go on for hours talking about all the little things going on there, and I kind of want to sometime.
Yeah, you guys got to do like a thorough podcast about video game music and stuff.
Yeah, we kind of were, right? We talked about genre, that other stream.
Yeah.
Music genre. So yeah, I'd love to continue that dive. And we did the Star Wars, right? We did the John Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to go on with that.
With John Williams, we can keep going with him.
Just game
honestly,
music in general.
We could do like 3 about John Williams, honestly, if you wanted to. But
Ooh, almost nailed it on the first try here with the piano.
Oh, that looks good.
Yeah, let me play some of the. Oh God, let me play some of the piano stuff from the book. Where'd it go?
What is your Yamaha model up there?
I had it somewhere. Let me see. Oh, Let me check Amazon. I think I wrote it down on Discord for myself at some point. I think P71, 88 keys.
P71.
P71 was the one that, but I think it's an older model of the P71 series. Like P71 is
okay.
one in the series, one of them in the series, but there's like, you know, it's an older one, definitely an older one. Okay, where did I put the book? Did I put it back? I did. Okay. So Dirtmouth is one of the first areas of Hollow Knight. So I can kind of. Well, actually, I should just do this way. No, then you guys can't see the piano. Can you hear that?
Yeah. I sure can.
I'm gonna move it so I can actually reach the higher keys. I was like. It's been so long since I've played this. You get this low C1 in here. Oh. A. Yeah, so that's kind of, and then I guess it goes, let me finish this out, I guess here. and all this kind of stuff. That's kind of the open end. Crossroads is a pretty cool one as well. So it kind of that's the next area. Oh, what a chord. Then it goes back to this kind of stuff. One of the coolest tracks, of course, Hornet is in here as a tune, as a theme. City of Tears is a gorgeous one, absolutely gorgeous one. It's got this kind of cool, I think it was like this. No, it's left hand. Yeah, so it's like that's the City of Tears, and then there's some gorgeous parts where it moves somewhere else, and it's just absolutely like. Then it goes to, that was the B flat, right? And then it goes to yeah, one of my favorite things, I know I'm playing like not continuously, right, and everything, but actually one of my favorite things about playing it all on the piano, like as a personal experience, it might be like as a concert. Of course, if I go on stage and I play, and you guys are listening, right? It's not that, maybe not that exciting or something. I don't know, but the waiting and then playing it and being like, you really get to slow down and experience kind of like exactly those transformations and changes in those colors or whatever. So analysis, first of all, of course, automatically you're going to be able to see visually, like you see the sheet music and you go, oh, I see what's going on here. Like I literally see the notes rather than just what you're hearing. And then the process of playing really makes you aware of exactly how things are moving. And I think piano is just such a fantastic vehicle for this. So yeah, City of Tears is one I've learned kind of. But yeah, waiting and hearing a chord sit and like taking longer to go to another chord If you've heard the music through, but then you slow down, you just those transitions get so much more they're vibrant, right? Timing is just a huge element of music in
You know, it's
general. So
interesting when you listen to music, you're really hearing sort of an impression of what's going on, unless you actually know the notes, and then your brain, once you know what is actually going on, you can't unhear that. So say like you're
yeah, that's true.
learning some scherzo by Chopin or whatever, and this texture is kind of blurry. Your ear kind of approximates what's going on. You hear the sound, but you don't know what's going on. Then if you go into the score and you play it, you go, oh, so that's what's actually happening.
Right.
Then once you hear the music again, your brain knows what that is, and so you kind of hear it
Yes.
differently. It's weird.
Yes.
You can't unknow it after that.
Yeah, I mean you can because like I guess like when you're listening, if you haven't looked at the score for a while, I do feel like I'm taken almost back. It resets that scene behind watching a magician do a trick, scene behind the magic trick. I think if you forget kind of exactly, if you might forget how a trick is done, you kind of get back to that experience of what it felt like when it was that magical unknown of like it's just this
It depends.
experience.
It depends on how
Sometimes.
skilled you are of a player. You know, if you're very skilled, it might stick more.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this. Let me see if I can kind of demonstrate one figure. Can you hear my piano?
I can hear it, but it's on the soft side. Yeah, I talked about if you can get that set up sometime, that would be great. Yeah, I can hear the piano fine.
So there's
so we could see you're playing. That would be sick, you know?
Right, yeah. There's a passage in Chopin Scherzo number 3, which goes like this.
Yeah.
That's the figure. And if you don't know what's going on, to your ear, it just sounds like a blur. You can't actually hear every note in order, you know. But once
the point isn't those small changes in notes and stuff.
So once you know, I think once you learn that figure, you can't unknow it. You can't unlearn that, you know.
You can't unknow information. I do agree.
So it becomes more high res to your mind when you're listening to it again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah. I do think, I guess, that what is it? I think that if you are hearing it, if you just focus on the audio of like what are you actually hearing, you can analyze music in all kinds of different ways. So you can also hear things in all kinds of different ways. So I think you can't actively force yourself to listen to something and turn off the analytical, like seeing the sheet music in front of you and seeing the page. Like you can turn that off, I feel like, especially when you play. When you're playing, you have it already automatic. Once you figured it out and you've learned to play it automatically, once you're playing automatically, are you thinking about all those connections? Or when you're thinking of phrasing, are you just kind of you kind of come full circle, don't you? I feel like.
I think so. I think one of the things that helps me most kind of get back into kind of hearing the music as a blur, you know, is to really focus on the melody, because that's actually something I do the least, is think about the melody, because it's so obvious, it's so naked. My ear is always like zooming into the harmonies, different voices, you know, the bass, and not the tune.
Yeah.
So the tune almost becomes like the backseat thing, because it's so obvious to me. But if I really think consciously about the tune, it helps the rest of it kind of blur in the way it used to, you know?
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, like this stuff here from the when I'm playing, honestly, it's been the most satisfying experience to play video game music and try to learn the score on piano. And I almost feel like the resistance, the friction I am experiencing with my piano not being not as skilled and quick at reading the music on piano as I am on, say, violin, that friction almost, it forces me to slow down. It forces me to think. I am experiencing everything at a slower pace. So because I'm experiencing so pace, once I get it, it's that much more satisfying when I get the next chord. I'm like, oh, and I'm like, oh my God, right? Like whereas if I was quicker, then that transition would happen quicker, which means that would be a lower resolution because of high res versus low res. Yeah. So that's a really interesting fact, which in writing we do that all the time as well. When you're composing, especially with scores like film or like game, you might have something that will sit on a harmony for a long time. And the point of it is so that that harmony marinates, so that when you move to a new harmony, that experience is felt much more grand, like it feels like a much bigger shift. Whereas if you go from harmony to harmony quicker, those transitions become less highlighted, less high resolution, because they are happening so quickly. There's less time for things to marinate and for you to feel like you've settled in on something, and then the shift then kind of really uproots way more dramatically because you've set into something more like more fully. Yeah.
Do you find yourself when you like read stuff on violin when you're going quickly? I mean, is it so fast that you don't have time to really process what's going on?
I would have to actively slow down the tempo I'm playing through to get that experience.
Because it is so second nature to you to read a line of music on violin, right? It just happens. You don't have to think about it.
Yeah, it's like if somebody is speed reading through a book. If I am able to read, which I'm not that good at reading quick, but some people can look at a page and kind of just read like this. They don't read like this. They read like this. They look at the middle. Speed reading is you look at the middle of the page, and because you're noticing all the words, you can actually get to a point where you can scan text really fast. Now, the level of the kind of like, like how high res that will be, your experience of everything you're reading, is going to be less. You're sacrificing that because you're moving at a pace where your ability to soak in everything as it's happening, and you are not moving with. It's like if you were to sit there and listen to a song that's a dance song or something versus you actually dance to it, right? You might, if you are trying to dance to something and its tempo is usually slower tempo, allows you to get through the motions more better, right? Generally speaking, I would like say a waltz. Maybe a waltz would be a good example. I guess maybe that claim is like, I mean, some music faster is like gets more energizing, like certain like maybe tap dance and stuff. But I would say that like waltz slower buys you more time to kind of really lean into the different swings.
Right.
Like da 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 bum. It's pulling you to commit to the swing. If you go da 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 bum ba bum. It's like a roller coaster. When you ride a roller coaster, the going up, if the going up was as fast as going down,
right?
But whereas if you're going up and down, that feels very different from up and down.
Right.
The fast is only fast because it's fast compared to the riding going up.
Yeah.
That's there is no fast. There is no slow. There is faster and slower. Right. Yeah. It really in art it's all relative. It's completely relative. And that's the fun part as a composer is you can choose the point of reference. You can choose what we get used to, and then you can pull us away to something else. And it's such a fun game.
If you like read a piece, if it says forte or if it says piano, it doesn't tell you that much until you see the next dynamic.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I was watching a video about composition that was talking about like common mistakes that composers make when writing, and so the guy in the video was talking about how the biggest problem is that the composers will kind of like do things, but they won't really full commit into doing those things. You like they aren't willing to kind of go all the way to an idea. So that means that there's not enough contrast. I don't know. Link me.
Thomas Goss. Let me see if we could be thinking about the same video.
Thomas Goss.
OrchestrationOnline is his name.
Maybe we are. I think it is. I am actually subbed to OrchestrationOnline, but it might not be his video that I was thinking of at this point.
This
yes.
video, if you're into it, this video is a great kind of thing about like the balance and like what forte means, what piano means, you know, what mezzo piano means.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's all contextual, and the problem with young people now, not young people, with new composers is that they think that, you know, forte is a dial, like, you know, forte is like 127 whatever on the MIDI
Decibels.
or whatever, and that's not how it works. It's not a he puts it much better than me. It's not a fader setting, you know. It's not a fader setting. It's a
Mm-hmm.
breathing thing.
Yeah. Could be cool to go through this. Yeah.
He also mentions that Rimsky-Korsakov said, and I think he's probably right about this. You typically don't want a solo to enter in the mezzo range because it doesn't allow the player to really bring out the character of that. So if it's piano, make it piano or more, or if it's forte, make it forte or more. But don't like do mezzo forte or whatever because it doesn't allow the player to lean into that quality.
Mm-hmm. It's all about what you want to be in the foreground of what's being heard. I really do subscribe to the fact that, or something I've been thinking about is like, we really like when you're listening to something, you're not actually processing every single thing that is happening in the music. You are
Nowhere
experiencing
near
it, but what is in the foreground of what you are thinking about? Maybe like what is the thought part, or what is the like I'm
Right.
listening and I'm like, oh, I'm hearing a horn, like that part of your brain like actively, I guess, like describing the narrating, I guess, what you're experiencing. That narration part is only going to capture whatever's in the foreground. So whatever's
Right.
loudest or whatever's brightest color, whatever's this harshest dissonance in your harmony that you have currently going.
And it's fascinating that background stuff is just as important because if you take something that was written poorly, the same tune on both, okay, but one is written poorly and the other is written great. Somebody who doesn't have a great ear or doesn't know much about music will subconsciously know that the good one is better.
Mhm.
They'll know. They won't know
Mhm.
why, but they'll know that it is better.
Can you
They'll
say that
feel
again?
it. You know what I
What
mean?
was? Can you say that again? Sorry. So what was the good one versus?
Let's say you took like some tune, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And you said you got two people. One of them isn't very skilled, and one of them is very skilled. You say, dress this up. Give me like write this out. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you have somebody listen who isn't experienced with music or doesn't know much about it or might not have an ear or whatever. They're gonna subconsciously know that the better one is better and that the worst one's worse. They won't know why, but they'll know. There's a reason why John Williams or whoever feels so good to people. It's not just the melody. It's all the clothing and the skill that he puts around it. If you take somebody who's less skilled and makes mistakes in the harmony or in the emphasis of the horns here or whatever, the audience will know that in their gut. They won't know in their head, but in their gut, they'll know. They'll feel that.
Yeah, there are objective things that will work. There are objective ways to measure art where something might work more effectively for a certain goal. And it's really all about definitely finding ways to orchestrate all of the different things to work together towards the goal you want. And yeah, some issue with some writing might be that you might have things that all work, but they don't really work in concert together. There's a bunch of things there, but are they all pointing towards the same thing? Is there a conversation or something that compellingly ties and knots it all together into a vine? Is it creating a contour that that you might follow in a way that is just leading the listener in some way? It's the storytelling, right? Storytelling, some of it can be very compelling. Like this happened and then this happened and then this happened, or this happened because of that, this happened, and that caused this to happen. The second version is a more compelling way to tell a story because there is some kind of connection between the events that is compelling or gonna bring out some kind of emotional so there are things that work in storytelling, so same with music, right? There's going to be some things that work more effectively, and it's all about, and just because it works more effectively doesn't mean it all of a sudden you can just take that, plug it in somewhere else, and it will still be effective. It's context based as well. So understanding the relationships between all these moving parts is what makes the craft, is the whole career.
I think it's fascinating how all the background stuff, all the gears, that you might not notice consciously, they work on you. The average person who goes to see Debussy or goes to see Bach probably doesn't know what's going on intellectually. They don't know every note of the score, and yet that's moving them to tears.
Which is just phenomenal. It's phenomenal that music is the only language that your aptness in that your skill and aptness, and maybe what is it called, how your competence when it comes to that language, your competence at the language, has no bearing on the communication.
Right, exactly.
None, absolutely none.
It's the only language I think of that. Yeah.
For receiving, as a receiver. So if you're listening to someone, when you're receiving, hearing someone play music or hearing music, there is no requirement at all of learning for you to comprehend the message. Now, delivering a message in a compelling way, that does take skill. But to write the music, to come up with that, to play it, that takes skill. But it takes no skill at all, and it requires nothing of the listener to be able to receive the message when it comes to. Whereas every single other language you do need to learn to be able to understand what someone's saying. There's much more required. Isn't that wild? Yeah, it's wild.
It's insane.
It's insane. Yeah, that's why it's lived the test of time, because it's the most unifying language we have.
Yeah, I think it was Debussy who said, "We don't know why music is the way it is. It fucking is. We don't know why it's so good. We don't know what makes it so magical, but it just fucking is. It just is.
Yep.
It's mysterious."
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we can watch this. Maybe we'll watch this. Talk about it. Yeah, because orchestration is definitely something I'm interested in. Yeah, let's take a look.
Yeah, this is a great video. Tom Scott is good. I love him. He's good.
There was some reason I subscribed. There was some videos that I really liked from here.
Yeah, he's a very good resource if you want to get into orchestration for sure.
This leads us very naturally to the next fundamental element, balance. In this vertical texture, how are we to make sense of things? Which instrument supports and which leads? Without balance, we've got no way of expressing this, or indeed of expressing anything with all these instruments blasting away at exactly the same volume.
Yeah.
So it's all
for example, all whispering inside
about bringing
once.
clarity to your orchestral sound picture. The listener must be able to hear everything that is going on proportionally.
Stereophonic landscapes. I don't even know what stereophonic means. Clarity of sound picture. Timbral individualization. Okay, so this is just all these different things to consider. Dynamic relations, comprehensibility, clarity of sound picture, comprehensibility. Sound picture, okay.
And by using the word listener, I'm including the most important listeners of all. Those who are performing your work. They're all seated in proximity to one another, carefully processing what they hear around them, and contributing their parts accordingly.
True.
A well-balanced work allows most players to hear each other with little confusion or interference.
Mm.
With a poorly balanced score, just the opposite is true. For the player, it's as if walls of sound have been erected around them, shutting them out from really understanding where they are, or why their part has meaning.
Yeah, it's like it's so nice when it's intuitive how your playing is contributing to the whole. Yeah, it's nice. Yep.
This usually happens because the composer is thinking too much like a sound engineer. To them, every staff in a score represents a separate channel on a mixing board. All that's required of the player is to simply play their part at a given level, and if anything's wrong, we'll fix it in the mix. This approach would work great if everyone had a separate microphone along with headphones, each with their own little mix to listen to.
Which technically for film score, you do have that level of gradient control to some degree sometimes. But not in, like, let's say, symphonic performance, like at a hall or something. You wouldn't write And you might actually write differently for a hall
Well, you
performance
have
than
to
for a film score.
you have to mix in the writing. That's the whole thing. That's the key, is that the writing contains your mix.
And I mean, you like John Williams would write in a way that would work in a hall. It's not exclusive
Of
to. It
course,
only
of
would work
course.
at in a studio or something.
Yeah, he's mixing on the page. That's what he's doing. That's what you know. And that's, I think, when your skill level is like that, it shows in the product.
Yeah.
Even if it's on screen or whatever, you can tell. You know, you can tell.
Gosh, there's so many factors to juggle. It's so much fun. God, it's so fun to think about those things. It's like game design. It's the same thing. It's the same kind of lore of like thinking about all the moving parts and how they affect each other. It's
What I
just
would
this
love to
endless
do is
dance.
get my hands on his scores, but they're not in the. I don't think. I think you have to buy them if you can.
Sometimes there isn't a score to buy. I don't know. Let's find out.
Like the full scores, not like a reduction. I mean like the full. What the studio would have had.
New score. Thanks. No thanks.
No.
These are
John
arrangements.
Williams full score.
JohnWilliams.org. Referential. What did it say there?
Conductor scores.
Referential references. Sheet music. Hal Leonard. Arranged by John Williams. So that would be him signing off on that. Complete set of scores and parts. Let's see. $448.
Oh my god. Well, I mean,
what would this be?
It's, it's an hour. It's an hour and a half of music.
Song list. Oh, this is 23 songs. This is Psycho. This is the list. Godfather. What else pops out for me? My Heart Will Go On from Titanic. The Magnificent Seven. He did Pink Panther. I didn't even realize.
No, he did not. He did not. He did not do Pink Panther. No.
Why is Pink Panther here then?
I have no idea.
Detailed description. Full orchestra score parts arranged by John Williams. Oh, maybe it's not all his stuff. It just might be arranged with some of them. Star Wars main theme, E.T., Extraterrestrial,
Pink Panther was
Jaws.
composed by Mancini.
Yeah, that's why I was like surprised to see that. Composer. Henry Mancini, yeah, wrote Pink Panther.
Different style.
Very different style, yeah. I'm not seeing, yeah, Exodus.
Yeah, this is not the kind of thing. What I want to do is like buy the Harry Potter score
Yes.
from the first movie and be able to read that.
Signature
And I don't think
edition. Oh, there's
it's out
signature
there, I don't
editions as well. Yeah, that's the thing. I do have a gripe with that. I do think that
It's owned by the studios.
I think that's the thing as well. That's the thing. I feel like, okay, right? Like people who are musicians like us, oh my god, my cam is like, oh, my dog was sitting on the wire. Nico, careful. That's why I'm tilted. Okay. I think that access, first of all, there are lots of websites out there that will do arrangements of music that is copyrighted, but they are under the hood of this is for educational purposes, or it's free and they make no money off of it, and the community is so small that there's basically no financial reason for the business, copyright owners to hunt them down and try to, because the only reason you would spend money to track someone down and try to copyright strike them and cease and desist would be because you would make you would net positive the money from doing so. So the reason that copyright, like whatever wars, only happen with bigger projects is because the bigger projects are making money that the copyright owner feels they owe a share of the pie from, because of course you are using something that you didn't make. So that's where the thing is. So what I've thought about is like, it would be really great if there was like a better relationship, a more direct line as well, between the composers and people who just want to appreciate the work. they either want to analyze it or they want to play it. Now, I am fine. I am completely fine giving all the, like, you want to make money off of the fact that you made this piece of work and that people love it, and you want to gain money, you want to make royalties off this. Fine. I'm happy for that. And one of the thoughts I had was it would be really nice if there was like a website or something that had sheet music that was available, arrangements of music for people to play all these different music and whatever, and there was a working relationship between the copyright owner and that and the website that's making this stuff, and so that you can just be like, well, let's figure out a way that you as a business owner of this thing, this property, this copyright, is satisfied that you are making more money by engaging in this, dynamic, engaging in even in making that more available, and making sheet music like this more available. And I think that having a place where you can just do this, you can go to be like, oh, I want to see all of John Williams' scores, and I want to look at it, and I want to analyze it, and I want to talk about it. I want to have a conversation with this composer. But a lot of times, scores out there, it's actually quite the battle to get a hold of the stuff, and it's upsetting to me that I'm like, well, and I think that a lot of composers would really feel honored and would really love for people to analyze their work, because that's a level of appreciation. Of course, I think it's only a W move, but the problem is that the labels are making tons of money on this, and what the labels care about and what the labels don't care about is very different from what composers and musicians care about. Yeah, they are interested in profits, which honestly I would be willing to forgo all the money in the world. I'd be like, I don't care about the profits. I just want the thing. You can have all the money. You just take the money. I don't want the money. I just want the thing. I just want to be able to have the access. I'll pay you whatever. Take whatever you want. Just
Well, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, I have no problem with the profit. Okay, that's fine. I want to be able to pay $45 for the entire score of Harry Potter 1. That's what I would do it in a heartbeat. I'd pay $45.
But why is it so hard to find? Why is it such a? What is going on with that?
Because the studios don't care about that game. They don't care about. They could if they wanted to. If they said, okay,
well, that's the thing. I think the way you present that is you present it as, hey, you could be making more money. Do you want free money? Here's an audience of people that would love to buy the scores if they just were existing. And I was thinking, why not just be like, hey, we'll write the arrangements, or we'll sort out the quality control for the score. Just let us do it. We'll make it, and then you can have the profits. And then we now serve the customer, And
I think the reason why they don't do that, they don't partake in that, is because they make 100,000 times more selling the actual audio of this stuff than they ever would selling sheet music of it.
Sure.
So their minds aren't in the game, you know what I mean?
They just might not know that there's an audience that would buy these scores.
But I think it's not worth their time. I don't think.
Okay, this might be an actual score. I don't know. It's just weird. I think it's a disservice. I think it's a disservice. $81 for The Force Awakens. Suite for orchestra. And we have actually some reviews. There are some reviews.
Which movie is The Force Awakens?
7. It's the sequel. There was 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, and then 7, 8, 9.
Oh, 7's the first movie?
So the movies go 4, 5, and 6.
4, 5, 6.
1, 2, and 3, which is the prequels. Then it goes 7, 8, 9.
Okay.
And the 7, 8, 9 ones were after George Lucas sold the rights to Disney. So those ones suck, quote unquote.
Those are Disney movies.
Those are Disney movies. Those are not George Lucas movies. Basically.
They feel like it too.
Yeah, yeah. They are Disney movies. And they're Disney movies in a climate when Disney is past its prime, let's put it one way. Past its prime. I think it's not the golden days anymore. I think that's one thing people can definitely agree on. People can debate this all day, but
I do agree with that, yeah. And it's prime, when Mencken and what's his name? Howard Ashman were making all those movies, and then Howard died, and then but that kept going. You know, all these great cartoons
Who?
that they put out.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Back in the '90s, back when they did all that stuff, that was like what I wouldn't say it saved it. It didn't save them, but it put them back on the map. I mean, those movies were, you know.
Oh wait, they're here. You may also like. Wait, they are here, but I just didn't see the full list. Maybe they are here.
If you can find Harry Potter, the first movie that.
Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, was that first? That was second. Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah.
Harry Potter. And
Either one of them would be.
And Philosopher.
The first three, I think the first three movies were John Williams.
Yes.
And then from there, the new
this is not that bad. Here, there you go. There's your answer.
That's great.
So I guess it does exist, but I do think it's
can
just.
You go to the preview really quick? The preview picture. Yeah. Ooh, okay. Can you zoom in
I'm trying to, but it is definitely. What's here? This is Foxes of Phoenix. What is going on here?
Hedwig's theme is what I would like to see.
The violin part in that. Yeah, that part. You know, I would love to sight read that. I've actually wanted to give that a shot because I have really good sight reading skills. I could probably sight read that part. That'd be really fun. If it's out there.
Is that violin run? That's an octatonic run, I think, or is that just in the celeste? I can't remember.
The what run?
Yeah.
Those are violins play that too.
It is octatonic. It is.
Octatonic? Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Because the F and F sharp. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, it's 8. 8 notes. Yep. So this score has Dobby the House Elf, Fox of Phoenix, Lockhart, and Chamber of Secrets. So it's not gonna. It's obviously not gonna have. What about Star Wars?
It doesn't even have the fucking Hedwig's theme. Come on, man.
I don't understand.
Ooh, look at that.
Look at this. Oh, tons of reviews for the Star Wars one. Let's see. Oh, I was gonna read the reviews from this one. By the way, the Force Awakens. One of them says, great as always from John Williams. If you like the soundtrack, definitely buy this score. Very much worth every penny. Okay. To the dear, ambitious young musicians. Just because I gave it a 5-star rating doesn't mean it will sound so great when you play it. Be careful to not get caught up in the nostalgia that you perform subpar. So
okay.
Don't play it unless you don't suck, is basically what they're saying.
The lecture is not needed here. What's the point of that?
2016. I don't.
Thank you.
So many questions. So many questions.
Thanks for the lecture.
Sorcerer's. Okay, I found it. Sorcerer's Stone Suite. It's another suite though. Why can't I just get the actual every single track that's in the film that you can find on YouTube? Can I just get the sheet music for that? You know?
Well, I think the suite is probably better because without that, if it was the whole movie, it would be
fucking ginormous.
It'd be too long. Yeah, it's.
There's Hedwig's theme. It's the first thing in here. Is it on here? Oh, it shows the number 4. Of course, it's not going to show us the fucking thing. But yeah, you could buy these. You could definitely buy these. Well, hey, if I start making money off these streams, then I will definitely put all that money towards getting the scores and looking at them together. I think that would be worth. That would be where I would put my money, 100%. So that would make the streams better, of course, if we weren't doing it by ear and actually looking at the scores themselves. This John Williams Orchestral Suite is an excellent resource for intermediate school and community ensembles. The medium difficulty, quote unquote, rating makes it challenging yet achievable for advanced students. It's a comprehensive 76-page deluxe score, ideal for teaching ensemble performance Rhythm, large-scale score reading. Students will love playing these iconic themes from Harry Potter. Large-scale score reading. How much you want to bet how many people actually read large scores in, was it middle school? High school?
Oh, nobody's doing
Advanced
that.
students in school? Yeah, excellent source for intermediate school and community ensembles. Community ensemble. I mean, okay, intermediate. I don't even know what intermediate school means. Does that mean middle school?
That's like 5th and 6th grade.
Yeah, that's middle school. Middle
Yeah.
schoolers reading large scale scores.
No, that's not
Please
happening.
send them my way because I think this stream is they would love this. I want them as a guest because god damn are those rare.
True.
As a professor, this deluxe score is great for performing. Intermediate difficulty means it's accessible for main groups. Also for score, not a lead sheet with chords. The spiral binding of the 10.5 by 14 inch size are practical for conductor stand. Okay. Hal Leonard consistently delivers quality for a performance setting. Yeah, Hal Leonard is the publisher. Cool. So it does exist. It is here.
Good. Good.
So you can buy it.
I'm happy to know that.
Yeah. Children's suite for orchestra. I just, but I want, yeah. I kind of just, I mean, John Williams did sign off on this, but I just kind of want to be like, hey, I'm looking at exactly what John Williams had on his stand when he recorded these tracks for the film.
That's what I want.
That's what I want.
That's what I want.
And I would pay.
Is
I would
that
give
what this
anything
is?
for that.
I don't think it is.
That's the problem. You should know. It should tell you.
I don't know. It should tell you.
We should know this. This should be
Yeah.
normalized that we know this information and that it's so like you know how Steam is a fantastic customer service platform for video games, right? I want Steam for musicians. That's what I want in the future.
Yeah.
That's what
You
I
should
want.
start it.
I mean, I've thought about it. I have ideas for that, but you know,
should work that out. That'd be amazing.
One day.
I mean, we have the library, but the library doesn't have, you can't buy anything. So William scores.
I mean, it is nice that we have things like this, but it's just chance. And I think if you normalize this, it would be, and it normalized the access. That's where actually when we were talking to stream about like how easily accessible different things are. That is one question I actually haven't gotten a chance to ask Tim, but something we're going to talk about later is the guest from earlier. Does greater, easier access to music lower the value or perceived value of like pursuit of music? Because like before you had to go to a concert. I mean, wasn't not Beethoven, Bach maybe, who would take a carriage for hours to see a concert? Like the investment that it would take to see a live concert was tremendous compared to today.
Well, I think
with online.
I think it's true. I think it is true.
So the perceived value was really high. I mean, who in the world would drive to? I mean, well, nowadays with some like pop concerts, of course, you would fly even to see it.
Yeah.
So like perceived, maybe that's not an argument. I don't know, but perceived value of like if the access is higher, easier.
Right.
Does that lower the perceived value of the thing because it's more easily accessible? I think in a way it is. And there's an irony actually. There's a huge irony there because the access being higher, lowering the perceived value that makes sense to people, to consumers or whatever, or to listeners. But going through the trouble of learning to play an instrument to gain the high value of that shouldn't the friction of trying to learn an instrument and play and analyze music and learn music theory and all this stuff, shouldn't the friction of that and that being challenging make you perceive learning music theory and an instrument and playing it and all this stuff as a higher value thing? So people understand that because something is less accessible, it is more valuable. But they don't understand that if something is less accessible, that takes more work from their side to gain.
That's why.
That it's not more valuable. How can those two things be in the same world or the same person?
I think people
don't
know.
understand.
I think people know that, but they are lazy. They don't want to put in the work. You know.
I guess it's like money. That's the thing for me. It's like, well, people will spend hundreds of dollars to go to buy a ticket to see a pop concert, and they'll shell out like crazy for this. I guess it's the because money is a commodity that can be earned by literally doing literally anything. That means that you can just do whatever you enjoy doing and you like doing, and invest your energy and time and thought into this thing, whatever it might be, get the money, and then use the money to go to the concert. And that money could have come from literally anywhere. Whereas, like, basically the entry fee for going to a concert is do something that you like, and that makes you enough money to go. Whereas the entry fee to play an instrument and to learn and to like engage with music on a deeper level is actually, there is no you can do anything. You have to do the thing.
You got to work. It's work.
So that's like, but that's work that is categorical. It has to be categorically music related work. It cannot be I go and do my 9 to 5 and then I enjoy the music. And now I understand music better. It's I have to engage with the music to enjoy the. I don't know.
Well, what it is it's extra work because people have to work. You know, you have to work. That's a given. But people don't necessarily want to have extra work on top of that, and that's what that is. I mean, if they got paid to take 2 hours out of their day at work to learn violin, they would do that.
Right. If you got paid for those hours, but you have to pay. You have to pay those hours because you literally have to pay a teacher. Otherwise, music industry is unsustainable.
Or you are just paying away your time to access the skill. You could be watching TV. You could be hanging out with your girlfriend. You could be whatever you're doing.
So it's more on the list of a hobby, right? It's more of a list of a activity, an extra activity.
But you're right. It does increase the value when you work at something and you get better. You over time, as you get better, you feel that value go up. You feel it, you know. But it's that learning curve. People don't really want to start doing that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
that's tricky.
Some people do.
Yeah, of course,
people
of
don't,
course.
You know?
Yeah, I've just always been. It's always been bizarre to me that back in the day, that was another topic for Tim that maybe we'll talk about next time. But that, like, you know, it's so you know, it was very honorable to pursue something challenging like arts, and nowadays it's not viewed as much that way. I guess like doing something that is challenging is considered not a suboptimal. Like the optimal strategy is to first figure out how to make something that is challenging less challenging, and then deal with whatever's left. Whereas the artistic pursuit is to actually look for more challenge. The more challenge, the more satisfying the search. And that was the topic before with Sam, is that like one big topic was that it's adventure. It's the unknown. As an artist, you are looking for the unknown, whereas as a business person, you are looking for what's reliable, meaning the things you already know, which is why commercially driven projects are never risky, because they want to just do something that already worked. That's why they do the reruns and everything.
And those things never do that well.
Yes.
They never do that well. It's always the weird shit that's brand new and from left field that gets the public to go, well, I haven't seen that, or I haven't heard that. That's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
It's never the safe stuff.
Because the reason to engage with art is to experience something that you haven't experienced before.
Novelty, exactly.
Yeah, it needs to be something that hasn't been done. So if you as a business person are trying to like do a remake, like the Harry Potter, have you heard about the Harry Potter? They're redoing
Are
the
they
Harry
really going to
Potter.
remake it?
Yes, they're remaking Harry
It's
Potter
not even
with a totally
old.
new cast. It's not even old,
It's not
but
even old.
but it's a business decision. Business decision is
What the fuck?
if it's older, the community that is excited about Harry Potter might leave or might move on to something else. We need to milk the community that loves Harry Potter for money, and if we want to milk them for money, then we need to make the remake in time
Wow.
before the audience moves on. So
Mm.
if you look at it from that point of view, it makes sense why you would do a remake so soon after. Whereas an artistic perspective would be like, well, why in the world would you watch a remake? Why in the world would anyone be interested in seeing a
Right.
remake of Harry
We've
Potter
already done it.
when it's been done, one, and two, probably whatever you would do as a remake would be something that probably the people who made the original Harry Potter already thought of doing and chose not to do, which is why the Harry Potter is the way it is,
Exactly.
because they decided that they figured out from all the research and thinking about it that that was not the best direction to go. And look at
Yeah.
it, it's successful. It's successful because they didn't do a bunch of things that wouldn't be as successful as it.
Yeah.
So that means if you are making a remake, you are most likely, very likely, going to you're going to do it in a way that was considered by the original project team and discarded. So it's going to be,
Yeah.
by definition, worse. It's going to be basically this fanfic alternative thing that the original artist didn't probably even consider. They probably even thought of doing what you're going to do and chose not to do it. So it's like, there's literally a million reasons not to do a remake. Like an artist point of view is like it's stupid. You should
It's
be looking
stupid.
for something new. It's not going to lead to something that hasn't been discovered yet. It's not going to lead to the unknown. The whole adventurousness of art pursuit is that you're looking for something that that hasn't been discovered yet, hasn't been explored yet, or
That's
somewhere
where
to explore more. Yes,
that's
the
where the
juice.
value is.
That's the
value.
value. Yes. Whereas the
For
business
people who are
value is
interested.
I want to make sure that an audience that has proven to like something, I want to make sure that they buy something that they've proven to like. So I have to make something that they already like so that I can sell to them. I mean, as a commercial idea, that makes complete sense. But it's a conflict of interest against an artist's whole point of
How
doing
many
it.
times are these studios going to remake things and where they don't do well? Because when you try to remake something that's iconic, it's by definition gonna suck compared to the thing that's iconic. The thing that's iconic is iconic because there's genius about it. There's something genius about it, and you can't remake that. It's
The
going to
light
fall
bulb.
flat. So exactly. So how many times do these big studios want to keep making shitty versions of movies and things that have been done that are there already? I mean, they have to be losing money on these things, I would think.
Oh, of course they are. But they're not going to change their strategy because by conceptually they consider the lowering the costs and increasing outputs and having a predictable result.
But here's
Weren't
the
you
thing.
there
I
for
mean,
that when we were looking at the Josh Hayes video? You were there for that, right? Yeah.
I think so. But don't they think it's a better use of their time over X amount of years to look for and fund the next new genius thing, the next Harry Potter? Because if they find the next Harry Potter, they make trillions of dollars. If they make a new Harry Potter,
they have the money to afford to fail.
Exactly.
They're the ones.
But if you spend all of your time not being creative and making this safe bullshit that barely hits what is, then you're losing money over time when you could be making trillions over time.
Well,
trying to fund and find the new great
they just don't
talent,
care. That's just not. That's not a priority. That's the whole thing. Business is their priorities are completely different from the priorities of an artist.
They're thinking about tomorrow, not next year, not 10 years from now.
They're just not interested in the unknown. They're interested in the known because the known is the only predictable variable. They want the predictable, whereas artists want the unpredictable. They are literally at odds by literally the opposites. That is opposites. We are looking for the unknown. They are looking for what is known and is going to sell. We need to find a community. We need to find a market that already wants this thing, and we need to sell to the people that market is. We have to sell to them. So like they're like, it doesn't make sense. It's completely nonsense what we're talking about when it comes to artists. When they talk to them about this stuff, it makes no sense to them. They're like, this is absurd. This is crazy. This is,
I guess you can't blame the studios because they don't know. They can't actually bet on the future yielding some genius.
Of course you can't, because the whole point of exploration of the unknown is that it is going to have unpredictable results. That is by design. That is the point of pursuing art.
20 years before you have something that big.
Why would you watch a show? Why would you read a story that you know the ending to? Why would you read the back of the book, the last page, before the rest? Wouldn't you not want to know where the book is going? Because that makes the journey much more interesting. AKA, the unknown is the point, and you going through the unknown is journeying through the unknown is the point. So if you write in a way that makes it predictable where things are going, that's why predictable plots are so shit, because it's predictable. You don't want to know what's coming next. As a viewer, you don't. That's not what you want. And they don't get it sometimes.
Yeah. It'd be nice if they had a better system, like a better talent scouting system or something, where they were looking for the best people, the best new ideas.
So the one studio that I think has survived the test of time the best out of the trifecta of like Disney, Pixar, all those. The one studio that I found to reliably output actually good film, to stick with the quality that we've had from 2010 and before, right? Everything from 2012 and before, I think, is like one period. I see 2012 and onward as a new kind of era of film. There was definitely a drop off. That's when it kind of just fell off for me, and I literally stopped going to theaters for films. That was like the last year. I think the last film I saw in theaters, like wholeheartedly wanting to because I wanted to, was Doctor Strange. I think that was the last one. And then after Doctor Strange, which I did like, that was the end. That's where I ended my going to theaters for a lot of stuff. But the one studio that has succeeded at keeping the quality from then to now, and actually has maybe even improved, but just like it hasn't dropped off like everyone else, is Universal Studio. Universal Studio actually lets they just go, oh, you have this project. Oh, that's cool. Here's money, do whatever the fuck you want. That's their strategy. And it works because the artists get to do what they want to do. And then they just see what happens. And usually they're actually really good films because no shit, the artists are doing the art and the business people are taking care of the business. Of course it's going to work. Who would have thought that letting people who know what they're doing do what they want to do, that they know what they're doing about, and then not telling them what to do would work?
Yeah, making movies is strictly business.
It's back to the whole what is it called? Steve Jobs. Back to Steve Jobs.
Right.
You hire people who are professionals, and then you let them do what they want to do. That's the point of hiring a professional, is that they're going to tell you what the best options are and what to do. You don't hire a professional to tell them what to do. You hire the professional to tell you what to do. It's back to the teaching. We had the topic about teaching with Tim. Teaching, you are hiring the teacher to tell you what to do because you don't know better. So why would you go in there and being like, oh, I have an expectation of exactly how I'm going to learn, exactly what's going to happen, and all this stuff. It's like, well, and then when you like just are unhappy and you're like, oh, I didn't get what I wanted. It's like, but you're going to a teacher. Why then? Like, I don't know.
I want to see some new film genius come up where he's not with some studio, he's doing his own thing, and he's like, brilliant mind, his stories are great.
Fucking what's his name?
Casting is great. I would love to see something like that.
I mean, we do. We have Quentin Tarantino. Tarantino's a fantastic example.
Yeah, but he's old though. He's not new.
63? Not that old.
I mean, he's been playing the game for like 35 years. He's not new on the scene. I'm talking about somebody new
I mean,
who,
Christopher Nolan, of course.
but he's also old. You know, he's old. He's also a big studio.
Uh,
I'm talking about some 28-year-old person who comes along and makes something brilliant and genius and like shakes things up. You know, kicks the high a little bit.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to
I would
that
love to see something
myself.
like that. But I just
Uh,
haven't seen anything
you
like
have to
that.
go to indie. That's the whole thing. It's just like with video
You're right,
games.
exactly.
You have to go to
Indie,
the indie
yeah.
scene. You have to dig for gold there, and then when you find
for
something,
gold.
you'll be the first guy to be like, "Oh, this is so cool," and then everyone else is like, "Oh, it's so cool." It's like, "Well, I liked it before it was cool," kind of thing. That's
Yeah.
the indie scene. You go to the indie scene, and you can.
Indie scene.
Yeah. I mean, there's literally now even wishlisted. Yeah, wishlisted.com.gg is a show that is kind of like the Oscars or whatever thing, or like the fucking game shows for the year, game of the year stuff, but it's
Yeah.
all around triple indie games.
Ah.
Yeah, and it's really cool.
Cool.
And they feature games that can be wishlisted now, or they have the demos live at the place that they're doing the presentations from, so you can literally try the games right there and then. Yeah, there were some really cool selections in here. So there has been, and it's driven by I think Asmongold is involved in running this. I think he helped start this up as well, to kind of help feature just yeah. So like I think the content creators that understand, that you're supposed to make games, make gamer, making gamers making games for gamers, or like filmmakers
right.
making film from filmmakers or film enjoyers. Like you are a consumer and you are a passionate consumer that then learned how to create, and now you create for the
Exactly.
people that what they want.
Yeah,
I think more of that. I think content creators out there are a fantastic pivot for that, fantastic pilot for kind of combating this commercialization kind of machine. Yeah,
for
so
sure.
I love it, and I hope that I can be kind of a pilot for what we as artists and what musicians are kind of looking for. What we want, where is there demand that maybe the people who own rights to music might not know that there's demand for these kind of things. But hey, I'm
Definitely.
happy that these scores are here, and maybe
Yeah, they
I'll
are here at least.
I might pull the trigger and buy one, just to see.
I mean, that looks pretty comprehensive. That's probably is the actual kind of score.
Yeah.
That he would have used. I don't see it being some kind of alternate score. That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. I mean, like, that's the whole thing. I think the transparency and conversation, just more of that would be lovely. Like one thing that was really interesting, is when we were listening to the Civ 6 soundtrack, which was this theme. So christophertin wrote this track. Yeah, it was called the Sogno di Volare, but it was part of an album. It was part of an album playlist. I forgot which album it was. Oh, the Dream of Flight, but there was an album. I forgot what it was called. Shoot. Okay, let me just check here actually. Hold on. It was the Dream of Flight. Okay, the Dream of Flight. Because this was part of a album. Yeah. So we listened to this track and we analyzed it. That was like the first stream. Right. Now let's listen. This is 5 years ago. Now let's listen to the 9 years ago theme that was officially released with the game's release. Because he wrote an album. He did an album around this song. piano is gone. The strings holding the high note is changed. It's not the same track.
Yeah.
This is from 9 years ago when the game released, 2016, I'm pretty sure is when Civ 6 came out. This is 5 years ago when he decided to make this into a album, To Shiver the Sky. That was the album. And so, and that was like crazy. I was like, oh, because I remember like Hansi, I think, which was on for this analysis, he was listening actually to the other one, to this one, and I was listening to this one on his own. Like, he was on his own also trying to like talk about it, and he was like listening to his own. He was actually listening to the other one, and those are 4 years apart. And I was like, oh, I'm curious to listen to this other one. And I was like, oh, it sounds a little different. And I started to pick up some differences. Like, for example, I think later there's a part where he changed some stuff. This part. So it goes da 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 ba ba. The upper vocals, they answer da 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 da, and you hear the trumpet, right? The trumpet, the brass are answering with it. Right, there's a brass there. But then if we go to the version here, he changed this. The brass is gone.
So you're saying it's possible that I've made some changes before?
Yeah, so when he made the album, he's changed the arrangement a little bit to fit the album. Yeah, 100%. I mean, I can hear the differences. I hear the difference. It's a different arrangement. It's the same music, but it's different. So that means, like, you know, think about this, right? That, like, you know, like what if I wanted to know what changed? Like, you know, the conversation about all this, right? Like, why did you change it? Can you think of like I would love to, let's say maybe one day like christophertin were to be on, let's say we could talk. I would love to hear, I would be able to ask him the question of like, why did you change it? Why would you change the arrangement from here to here? You know, why would you perform it this way? Why would you rewrite it? How did that fit into the music here? Of course, we can analyze it. We don't need to maybe have our own. We can come to our own conclusions by just having the conversation with him, with Ten, through with Christopher, by listening to the music and analyzing it and coming to conclusions that way. Just like we might analyze old music of composers that have passed away, right? Like we have hundreds of years of music to look through, and we can still analyze it and figure out what might have been going on, what the composer might have thought. You know, we can look at letters of what composers wrote, but you know, today there's artists out there that are writing, and then they might make decisions, and I would love to, let's say, ask that question and be like, hey, tell me, you know, and they might be like, oh wow, someone caught that, someone noticed this detail, right? And I think that I would love to see more of that, and you know, hopefully the stream will be able to provide that, you know, conversing really in depth about this stuff.
Agreed.
Yeah, so that was really cool. That was a little thing that I just thought of that from before. Yeah, the arrangement is different. Nice. There's a lot less. The piano is throughout this track, but it's kind of basically gone from this track. The piano isn't there. This was supposed to be a one-off thing. It was supposed to be a self-contained thing, whereas the thing here is part of the album. So, you know, the vocals, I think, like The Fall has a lot more vocal. It's much more vocal heavy, I think. The strings are much thinner in this, I think, than here. Yeah, so stuff like that.
Cool. Well, I'm probably gonna go eat.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably stop here. Yeah, and I was just gonna say, like, one last thing is like, this is like the level that we don't even, you know, you wouldn't know this unless you compare the two parts. So it's like, it would be lovely to have a resource out there that tracks these things that are happening with the music that's being written.
Exactly what you're getting.
Yeah, you know exactly what's happening, you know, like a record of the historical record of what's going on. And so, like, I have no idea if this is the score to the music, if the score was changed, if this was arranged to basically be more adapting to maybe the ensemble that it's written around, or maybe it's supposed to be better for
Yeah.
schools. Like, I would love that information. I would love to
Well, read
just
the
know more.
detailed description right there. See if it's mentioned in there.
So this is Sorcerer's Stone, composed by John Williams. John Williams' signature orchestra movie. Okay, Spiral Bound. Full score notation, introductory text, tells us duration, publisher. So
Yeah, we still don't
nothing.
know.
We know nothing.
We still don't know.
This is all of this is like, honestly, all this information is like almost irrelevant. Everything
It's
here is
irrelevant.
almost irrelevant to
Yeah.
a musician that would buy the score. So that's a
Yeah.
clear problem of not understanding what maybe somebody buying a score like this would actually want to know about. Like, this is a clear
It's also
issue.
it's expensive to not know. $80 is kind of a lot to not know.
Yeah, like somebody
like
who
to
would
know.
spend this kind of money would want to know more of the information that isn't how long the song is. Like, I mean, sure, that would be useful maybe if you wanted to perform, if you're like, oh, we have to fit within this amount of time. But really,
Sure.
really, that's the kind of person that's coming on this website and finding this and going, I'm gonna buy the
No.
score, is someone who's like, I don't know that Hedgehog flight is 2 minutes long, and I want to make sure it's 2 minutes, not 3. Really? Like, I mean, sure, this
Exactly.
information is helpful, but the fact that this information is here and the other information that we're talking about is not, is concerning to me. So yeah, just
Right.
wanted to get that out there. Anyway.
True.
But yeah, thanks for joining me and chatting. And thanks
absolutely.
everyone who has been watching and lurking. And yeah, we'll do more streams in the future.
See you guys.
Bye, Joel. See ya.
Bye-bye. Yeah.
Take care, everyone.